TSN presents the Foster's CFL Game of the Week. Brought to you by Foster's Lager, proud to bring you the best of the CFL. It is a glorious fall afternoon at Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton. A nasty little breeze out of the west, though, has cooled the temperature down. The wind chill factor just below the 0 mark Celsius as we welcome you to today's game between the Ottawa Rough Riders and the Edmonton Eskimos. Hi, everybody. I'm Peter Watts. If you look at the numbers, these teams are playing with a combined record of 14 wins and 14 losses. That, of course, is a little misleading. 12 of the wins belong to Edmonton. 12 of the losses belong to Ottawa. Eskimos have clinched first in the West. They'll host the Western Final here on the 18th of November. The Ottawa Rough Riders are playing for next year. They're starting to work some people into the lineup, looking at personnel for 1990. They unfortunately, though, because of all the injuries, are having to play some of those people as starters a little bit earlier than Steve Goldman would like. And to talk about the game today now, let's go up to the broadcast booth. The gentleman who will call it, John Wells and Leif Pedersen.
All right, Peter, Leif, you've got a team that's 12-2 against a team that's 2-12. How easy is it going to be for the Edmonton Eskimos? Do they just throw the hats out on the field this afternoon?
John, you know what? It's not that easy. You know, people think, hey, you know, this is going to be a blowout. And in fact, in the end result, may be a blowout. But for the Eskimos, I mean, they cannot take Ottawa lightly. They have to go and play every game like it's an important game, and I'm sure that's how they approach this afternoon.
It'll be important for the Ottawa Rough Rider quarterbacks this afternoon. They will not have their #1 signal caller behind the center.
No, Tony Kimbrough gets the start today, his third start of 1989. He's only thrown 96 passes. Tough spot to put him in. Kenny Hobart, he is back in the Canadian Football League. Great running ability if he gets in there.
It is tough to find stars in the Eskimo defense because there are stars everywhere, including at this cornerback.
I think Stanley Blair on that defense is the best individual athlete. You know, he's been an All-Canadian 2 years, and if you see NFL scouts at a game talking about a guy playing out his option, I say, who are you watching? They all say Stanley Blair.
Offensively for the Eskimos, Craig Ellis will not be around for this one this afternoon, but there is depth on this Eskimo team. Marco Sincar steps in.
John, that's the feature of the Eskimos for so many years. They just do not skip a beat when one of their starters has to sit down. Marco Sincar, 10 years in the league. I mean, he is a great guy to go in as a replacement. Seems like they're able to do that year after year with their depth.
And defensively, the Ottawa Rough Riders have had to patch more holes, but they have a pretty good linebacker in Bruce Holmes coming over.
How about this guy? You know, Toronto Argonauts let him go. He's had 5 interceptions. That leads all linebackers in the Canadian Football League this year. 67 tackles, still 7th only after 12 games. He is a find for them, and he's definitely going to help their defense.
It will be another tough afternoon for the Ottawa Rough Riders as they go against the best team in Canadian football here at Commonwealth this afternoon. Peter?
Thank you, John and Leif. So we look forward to a competitive football game. We'll hope to see that the Ottawa Rough Riders, with Steve Goldman back on the sidelines, can maybe make a game out of this and give the Eskimos a run for their money. It's Ottawa and Edmonton next from Commonwealth Stadium. The kickoff is coming up. Stay with us.
You're gonna like the taste of Foster's Draft. Cold, fresh out of the keg. Foster's Draft. You have to go out and get it.
A store with this kind of selection just doesn't sound as good as a store with this kind of selection. So imagine how good a place like Granada sounds. All famous brand names. Technique, Sony, Hitachi, Bose, Panasonic. The best names, plus the best prices guaranteed whether you buy, lease, or rent. It's one of the advantages of dealing with #1. Now that's more like it.
This November, the place to be is TSN. Sunday night, see pro football's finest in exclusive live NFL clashes. And there's fire on ice when the NHL battles for division supremacy. And NASCAR crowns their Winston Cup champion. November sees our CFL season finale. And a new season of NBA basketball tips off with terrific action. There's more tennis being served and golf's best battle at the Kapalua International. This November, the place to be is TSN.
Just for the record, congratulations again to Tony the Wiz Hunter, who set an excellent 2 record for punt return yardage in the season. It now ends at 1,027 yards.
3 degrees Celsius, the wind west 28, gusting to 39 km/h. And the only natural grass surface left in Canadian football is naturally dry here this afternoon.
Good luck.
Dave Ewell is in charge of proceedings here today. And he'll be helped out by Bill Wrights, Art McAvoy, Larry Rohan, Bernie Prusco, and Ross Hutchinson. Dean Dorsey set to kick it off and get this football afternoon underway at Commonwealth Stadium. Tony Hunter and Keith Wrights are deep for the Edmonton Eskimos. It comes down a little short, and this is the toaster on the return. Leaf, your pal. Brett Williams with a nifty 7-yard return.
Dorsey's kick traveled 52 yards, picked up by number
Tracy
91,
Ham
Brett
at quarterback.
Williams. Brought down the play by number 22, Horrible Lee. Back 11 yards will be first and 10 Eskimos.
Reggie Taylor and Blake Marshall are the runners. Marco Sinkar and Tom Richards inside. Walter Murray and Keith Wrights, the outside receivers. The Eskimos first down. At the 38, Ham with all kinds of time. And I think his arm might have been batted there. He fired one into the turf.
Good pressure from number 98, Gary Columbus, who I'm sure would like to have a good game here. Of course, playing against his former teammates. Boy, if there's been one area of the Ottawa Rough Riders that has really been hurting this year, it is in that pass rush. And they are going up against a veteran offensive line with the Edmonton Eskimos. Heck Potier, 12 years. Rod Conop. Well, I tell you what, there is not a weak link in those 5 linemen. Joe Samalo gets the sack, number 74, and what a find he has been for the Ottawa Rough Riders. Desperate for defensive linemen this year, and he was on the practice roster of the Calgary Stampeders. They released him. Ottawa picked him up. That is his 3rd sack since joining the Rough Riders, and he has added some enthusiasm to that defense, along with other players like Bruce Holmes and Scott Flagle.
Picked up by Thurman, who got it back 3 yards. Tackled on the play by Leroy Bloom. First down, Ottawa.
Tony Kimbrough will lead the Ottawa Rough Riders.
Well, he has the same receiving core working as Damon Allen had last week in Toronto. Pretty good group. Of course, Gerald Alphen leading the league in total yardage, having himself just a super year.
Kimbrough over the middle and fired that one behind Ken Avrere.
Kimbrough passes Avrere, incomplete.
Offensively for the Rough Riders up front. Gerald Roper, Rocco Romano. The center is Herb Damon, Brad Tierney, and Kerry Ilyarenko on the right side of the offensive line. 2nd and 10, Rough Riders, beginning at the 42. This is Orville Lee, and Lee has a couple. It has been a tough year for Orville Lee, averaging just 2.9 yards per carry. He is not much above average there.
Well, they set him down for a couple of games and started David Conrad and Chris Skinner in the backfield, but Chris Skinner, of course, with 2 broken ribs last week in their loss to Toronto, not playing this afternoon. Orville Lee back in that starting lineup.
Tom Schimmer slipping, it is blocked. Eskimos with a chance for the first touchdown of the game. He has not been tackled and heading toward the end zone. Don Wilson. Tom Schimmer slipped. The Eskimos came through. Wilson came up with the ball. And it is a touchdown for Edmonton. Now, Mark breaks start early for the Ottawa Rough Riders.
Boy, oh boy, just what you do not want to have happen. You know, you're a team that's in tough, and you don't want to give them a freebie. Number 13, Mark Mathis, who'll be starting at the defensive back spot today, gets through with the block. Number 20, Donnie Wilson. Could have been anybody. Pick up that football. Nice move right there to get into the end zone with a touchdown, but Boy, when you're a team that's struggling and you're playing one of the best teams or the best team in the league, you cannot give them an early turnover like that, and especially for a touchdown.
The Eskimos out in front of the Ottawa Rough Riders. And it is very, very early at Commonwealth this afternoon.
Well, they're a whole lot noisy. Definitely flip. They're always entertaining.
Bo knows baseball. Bo knows football. Bo knows basketball, too. Bo knows tennis? No.
Bo knows weights.
Bo, you don't know diddly.
Don Wilson, the left halfback in the Eskimos secondary, comes up with a touchdown. The block was provided by Mark Mathis on a Tom Shimmer punt deep in Ottawa territory. The Eskimos strike early.
Don Wilson's having himself an outstanding season, 1989. But watch up the middle, number 13, Mark Mathis hits it with his left arm. And a whole bunch of guys had a shot at that one, but it was Don Wilson who picks it up and gets the touchdown. He is having a super year as a defensive back as well. Western All-Star last year, and tough start for Steve Goldman.
Trevor Bowles is the injured Edmonton Eskimo. Ottawa Rough Riders have had a tough year with injuries. Alex Carter, Chris Skinner, Damon Allen, three former Eskimos out of the lineup for Ottawa this afternoon. Also missing Paul McGowan, who had an outstanding start, and Troy Wilson, who had an outstanding season for the Ottawa Rough Riders. The Eskimos are missing some people, but just not the number that the Ottawa Rough Riders are missing at this point of the season. The Eskimos have not been as hard hit by the injury bug. They'll get Craig Ellis back rather shortly.
No, they really have had a pretty good year injury-wise. It seems like their whole defense for most of the year has pretty much been intact for Joe Farragelli. A couple of changes this afternoon in the secondary. Mark Mathis, of course, in for Enos Jackson. Mark Norman gets to start back in the middle, too. Nice to see him playing.
Eskimos try the short kick and come up with a football, but did it travel 10 yards?
No question about it. Chris Johnstone just waited nicely until the ball went about just a half a yard over the 10-yard mark, and he makes the recovery.
Chris Johnstone, it'll be first.
Man, oh man, they caught Ottawa sleeping on that one.
Now, do you like that call?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I like the call, but they sure do a nice job executing it. Dave Cutler used to do that extremely well when he was the kicker for the Edmonton Eskimos, and Jerry Currick, nice little dribble job. Chris Johnson with the good recovery.
12:42 to go in the opening quarter. The Eskimos already lead it 7-0. Now they have the football once more.
Taylor, the ball carrier.
Reggie Taylor stopped by Gary Columbus. A gain of 5.
He got 5 yards.
Up front for Ottawa, Joe Somalo, Gary Columbus, Lloyd Lewis, and Mitchell Young in relief of Alex Carter. And there's the secondary patched together once more for the Ottawa Rough Riders. Hopper and Hunter are the cornerbacks working against Tracy Ham. This is 2nd and 5. Ham to the near side, and it's batted down. Tight coverage from Darrell Hopper. The intended receiver was Walter Murray, number 84.
On 3rd down and 5 yards to go. That's close. It's the 51-yard line.
Darrell Hopper is doing a nice job since he has taken over that right cornerback spot for the Ottawa Rough Riders. They have had a number of corners play that position this year. He seems to be the best one, a rookie from the University of Southern California. Nice coverage there on Walter Murray.
Good news so far for Ottawa. The Eskimo offense has not been able to get on track. Corrick punting once more. Better kick this time. And this is Pee Wee Thurman waiting for us. At the 15, here's Thurman. Out to the 25 and stopped there by Mike McLean. 43-yard kick and a 9-yard return for Pee Wee Thurman.
Well, a defense that some people feel is definitely the best we've seen in the Canadian Football League in some time, and pretty hard to disagree with that. The front four so effective. Brett the Toaster Williams, John Manridge, Stu Hill, and Greg Stuman. Of course, a linebacking core that, boy, rates right up there with anybody else's in the league. Secondary, they are tough. Both corners, Andre Francis, Stanley Blair, come up, bump and run, play after play, and boy, you don't beat them very often.
On first down, Tony Kimbrough looking for Gerald Alphin, and it's almost intercepted. Wilson almost one-handed that one.
You know, he timed that perfectly. It looked to everyone else that Gerald Alphin was wide open, but he just simply said to Kimbrough, you're going to have to throw an absolutely perfect pass to get it over me. He times it perfectly, cannot come up with the interception, but of course he had an all-star season last year in the West and well on his way to that again this year. Real leader on that team. You know, he spent 3 years as a starter with the Buffalo Bills. Lots of experience. He's a good hitter, too, at 6'2", 190.
2nd and 10, Ottawa. Kimbrough time to throw over the middle for a Brer and just a yard too far.
A lot of people say, how come so many teams try and throw deep against the Edmonton Eskimos when they have such a good defense? Well, it's simple. They come up, all four defensive backs, with the exception of the middle safety, Mark Norman. They play bump and run right at the line of scrimmage, and if you're a quarterback, that's the only place you can go. You have to try and throw over the top of it. The last 2 plays, Tony Kimbrough did that, but couldn't complete either pass.
Tom Schimmer had his last kick blocked. This one, he gets away okay, but it is not deep. This is Hunter. After a CFL record in punt return yardage, he's about 128 yards short of the all-time CFL single season mark. Grabs about 3 there. Not a big return. The Eskimos out in front of the Ottawa Rough Riders. It is early. It's 7-0.
Commonwealth Stadium's first and goal lottery boots in the
Dad, can I parachute out of my bedroom window?
No.
Can I grow a mustache?
No.
Can we go shark fishing?
No. No.
Dad, can I have a pet monkey?
No.
Oh, darn. Beekeeping!
No.
Dad,
What?
can we go to McDonald's?
Yes. Yes, we can.
Can I drive?
No.
Oh.
Developments in pain relief don't come along every day, but each one can change the way we deal with pain. Now in Canada, there's Advil, a different kind of pain reliever. Advil has the strength to deliver really effective pain relief. In fact, one is often enough. And with Advil, there's little chance of stomach upset. Ask your pharmacist now for Advil, a different kind of pain reliever.
I had an interesting chat with Steve Goldman in the airport as we left Toronto yesterday, and I thought the way he has handled the team this year has really been tremendous. And talking to some of the players, they say he has been pretty easygoing for a team that's only won 2 games. And Steve simply says, you know, heck, if I was coaching the Edmonton Eskimos and they weren't playing well, you know, I could yell and scream at them and go crazy every once in a while. But I mean, I've got a team with the talent level that is just not with the other 7 teams in the league, so why yell at them? I mean, if I had a team with a lot of talent, that'd be a different story. So I think he's really kept everything in perspective through this struggle this year, and hopefully good things are around the corner for Steve Goldman and the Ottawa Rough Riders.
1st and 10, Edmonton at the 49. Tracy Ham in some difficulty, escapes once. Can he get away again? He gets the ball away, and Tom Richards has a first down. Richards inside the 35 of Ottawa. 28-yard gain. Tyrone Pope made the stop.
Well, this is the tough thing about Tracy Ham. You know, you get good pressure initially from Patrick Wayne, then once again good pressure on the outside from Mitchell Young, but Tracy Ham, time after time, buys himself some extra time and finds Tom Richards down the sidelines. Tom Richards having a super year this year. Not quite up to his totals and receptions last year, but yardage, you know, with that catch now, he's up to 856 for the season. And of course, with a few games remaining, has a good shot to go over 1,000 yards, and that would be the first time in his 3-year career that he's able to do that. 46th catch of the year, 5 touchdowns. Tom Richards from the University of Alberta has really been able to fit in nicely to the offensive scheme of things here in Edmonton.
Here's a tough break for the Ottawa Rough Riders. Another injured ball player down there. It is Joe Samalo. He had a sack earlier this game. And maybe he'll be all right and able to return. Eskimos have the first down of the afternoon. They already have a touchdown on a blocked kick. Don Wilson carried into the end zone as Mark Mathis blocked a Tom Schimmer kick early in the opening quarter. That's where it stands now, 7-0 Eskimos. Edmonton with a 1st and 10 situation at the 33. Michael Souls carrying that time for a couple.
Picked up 4 yards.
Gain of 4, 2nd and 6. Maybe that was Blake Marshall, number 22.
Yeah, Blake Marshall gets the start today, and what a career he had at the University of Western Ontario, All-Canadian. 1986, Joe Savala, good to see him running around the sidelines. They do not, of course, need any more injuries to that club.
Ham in difficulty. He gets away. Taylor had the ball in his mitts and dropped it.
Good pressure on the blitz from Bruce Holmes, the new middle linebacker for the Ottawa Rough Riders. And boy, that is an area of their defense that they really need to improve, and I like to see them gambling a little more. Last week against the Argonauts in that loss, they did not blitz very much, did not put any pressure on John Kajemi and Rick Johnson late in the game. This afternoon, a little different philosophy. Blitzing early on Tracy Ham, and boy, I think it's a good idea. You know, a lot of people say you're crazy to blitz that offense, but boy, they've got nothing to lose.
Jerry Korik's first field goal try is from 36 yards away. And Korik is wide. Thurman hesitated, looked like he was going to give up a single point, and then brings it out. What a great return. Out to the 25. Looked like a smart play because it worked, Leaf.
Well, I think a smart play would have been if he put the knee down right here and take the field position, but Pee Wee saw an opening, and of course with his great speed and kick returning ability, he doesn't need a heck of a lot of room. Well, and that's not a knock that he's only 5'2", 135 pounds. He is just simply a pretty good returner.
1st and 10 Ottawa. Rough Riders at the 26. Orville Lee, and it's hard running inside against that tough Eskimo defense.
Well, you're talking about a defense, of course, that leads the league in so many categories. Rushing the ball against them, well, it's almost impossible. They only give up 73 yards a game total. Tony Kimbrough will either have to beat them with his arm or his running ability, but he's got a bad ankle.
3-yard gain. This is 2nd and 7. They try a reverse to Alford, and that play did not work. Jeff Braswell snuffed it out.
Tough play to run against a team that likes to blitz a lot. They usually, when they blitz, come up a seam, and Jeff Braswell came right up the seam, and Gerald Alford with no chance on that.
Third down. Tom Schimmer back at his 5. Another high snap, but he gets it away. Not a deep kick for Tony Hunter. Hunter slips as he falls on the ball. He's lucky to hang on to it, Leaf.
I think it was a pretty good hit downfield from number 38, Pat Miller, the linebacking spot. You know, Tony Hunt today has a pinched nerve in the neck, and apparently when he gets a little tired in a game, that pinched nerve causes some vision problems for him. And had no trouble seeing that ball and couldn't hang on to it. But that's why he is not starting at wide receiver today. Of course, trying to establish that punt return record that has been held by Mike Nelms for so many years. Mike Nelms, of course, established that with the Ottawa Rough Riders.
On 1st down at the 49, Reggie Taylor has a couple. Maybe a loose ball down there. Hang on.
Reggie Taylor's on there. There was a fumble on the play.
Here's a break going for the Ottawa Rough Riders. Taylor fumbled. Ty Pope getting congratulated by his teammates.
1st and 10 Ottawa.
It's tough to see how
the Eskimo 53.
I believe Reggie Taylor was hit by his own man. The ball comes loose, and number 6 Tyrone Pope is there to make the recovery. Ottawa needs some breaks, and maybe this will get them going.
First down at the Eskimo 52. What a oh, he couldn't quite hang on. With Stanley Blair covering, Ray McDonald looked like he caught it with the seat of his pants.
Boy, that was a great throw by Tony Kimbrough. Here's your receiver flat on his backside, and he zipped it right in there. Ray McDonald could not make the catch. Stanley Blair, he fell down too, but he got the arm in there. He is certainly, if not the best corner in the Canadian Football League, pretty close to it.
Footing seems to be a problem for some of the players out there this afternoon. 2nd and 10. Rough Riders at the 52. This is Orville Lee with a flag down.
There is a penalty flag on the play. Get out of there, Francis.
Initial indication is procedure against Ottawa.
Let's go, baby. Come on, let's get out of this, baby. Let's go. What is it? Let's go.
Procedure, Ottawa 25, decline. 3rd down.
David Conrad.
Well, Johnny, you talked about the footing here being a little slippery. There was no great accumulation. We did get some snow here last night. A little bit, yeah, I know.
That's why you've got your heavy parka on up here. I thought it was quite toasty warm up here.
Well, you're used to this. I mean, this is your kind of weather.
On the return for the Eskimos, Hunter, and he is surrounded. Tony Hunter has not had a big afternoon running back kicks for the Eskimos so far. Edmonton out in front of Ottawa. It is 7-0 with 6 minutes and 14 seconds to play in the opening quarter.
Maybe you'll be lucky. Maybe you'll just have to replace your connecting rods. But maybe you'll need new valves. Then your bearings and crankshaft could go. Maybe even your rings and pistons. But you can help prevent all this for just a few dollars with a Fram oil filter. So you can pay a few dollars now or a lot later.
Back live at Commonwealth. Brett the Toaster Williams. Limbering up on the sidelines.
See, he doesn't think it's cold. He's lifted the shirt up. He's probably hot up there.
See, that's the difference between those big defensive linemen and those wide receivers.
There's another difference, too. You figure it out.
I don't know how you caught so many passes in your career in the West when you were wearing big woolen mitts.
It was very tricky, you know. You had to cradle the ball.
Did you have the strings on them?
Had the strings on them. It all went up through my shoulder pads.
I think it's a pretty nice day here today.
See, look at that.
He's Darth Vader.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? It's not too bad at all. I got a little nervous, though, when I saw that snow last night. You know, you like that, but I'm used to that nice warm weather we have in Toronto.
Well, it means the ski season is not far away in Jasper and in Banff. The Alberta Rockies. 1st and 10 for the Eskimos. Reggie Taylor from the 13. Well, defensively up front have been playing it rather tough this afternoon so far. It has been tough for Taylor to move against Lewis and Columbus in the middle.
Well, this is as good as I've seen them play in the first quarter of a football game this year. John, you and I have seen Ottawa a number of times. The front four doing a nice job. There's Columbus 98 in the middle. Mitchell Young, number 75, the newcomer, fights off a block. And Bruce Holmes, who I think will be a major acquisition for them, makes the tackle.
2nd and 7 for the Eskimos. Ham will throw to the near side. Marco Simcar He might have cut it up just a half a yard short of the first down.
Well, a cagey old veteran that Marco Sincar is, he went downfield and pushed off for number 21, Brett Young, and gets just enough yardage to move the sticks. And for Tracy Ham, that's the first down you like to have. They're deep in their own territory. He'd like to get them at least a couple of first downs and establish some kind of field position. Marco Sincar, 10-year veteran, replacing Craig Ellis.
1st and 10. The Eskimos at the 24. This is Reggie Taylor. And again, the Rough Riders playing it tough against the run. Bruce Holmes leading the tacklers that time.
Reggie Taylor, of course, over 1,000 yards already in the 1989 season. He is the CFL's leading rusher coming into this game with 1,115 yards.
Bruce Holmes, 4 tackles already for Ottawa. Gain of 4. This is 2nd and 6. Ham is smothered. Patrick Wayne, number 35, was through.
Well, I'm really glad to see Ottawa coming with the blitz. They only sent 1 linebacker this time, but Patrick Wayne, number 35, is there, along with number 74, Joe Samalo, who makes the initial contact. But boy, I'm impressed with the defensive game plan this afternoon in the first quarter for Ottawa. Don't sit back in that zone coverage and give Ham all time to throw. Put the heat on him.
Jerry Corrick gets a little pressure, gets it away, and here's Pee Wee. Thurman lets it bounce a couple of times. And then Steve Howlett picks it up, number 32.
Jerry Cork.
Good play by Pee Wee because the Ottawa Rough Riders get good field position.
I thought it was a good play by Howlett to pick it up. He almost got the no yards call, and you know that's what he was thinking. Corrick did a good job to get that ball away. Brett Young, number 21, was in pretty close.
24-yard kick for Corrick that time. And there's a discussion down there. Penalty flags down.
Illegal interference on the punter. 10-yard penalty. 3rd down repeated.
Well, obviously what they're saying is Jerry Corrick was coming downfield to try and get that short kick, and you can block him after he passes the line of scrimmage. And he certainly had not passed the line of scrimmage there, so the Eskimos get a few yards, and although it still remains 3rd down, they will punt, but probably will get a few more yards than they gave up on that last effort by Jerry Corrick.
Corrick standing back inside his 20. And he gets a better kick for Pee Wee Thurman. Thurman on the return. He's out to the 50, to the 51. Decent field position for the Rough Riders, but they lose about 20 on the penalty.
Brought down by Blake Dermott.
Ottawa hanging in late.
I think they played a pretty good quarter on defense. Offensively, they have to try and move the ball a little better. I mean, I don't expect them to have a 400-yard day or anything, but, you know, time after time, their Achilles heel has been leaving that defense on the field too long. The Ottawa offense has to start establishing some kind of passing game.
Tony Kimbrough to the far side, intending that one for Reddick, number 8.
Cornelius Reddick actually started the season with the Edmonton Eskimos and played in their first 3 games. He was then released, subsequently picked up by the Ottawa Rough Riders, broke his wrist, and this is just his 2nd game back.
2nd and 10 Ottawa. The Rough Riders at the 50. Flags all over the place.
Flags on the field.
7-0, the Eskimos leading Ottawa. And the penalty is going against Ottawa. Rocco Romano.
Procedure. Ottawa number 58. 2nd down.
It'll now be 2nd down 15 from the Ottawa 45.
So obviously Rocco Romano left his stance a little early and was the recipient of that John Mandrich hit. Not a fun spot to be in against this defense. 2nd and 15.
Kimbrough floats one up right into the hands of Francis, number 14. Defense is doing it for the Eskimos this afternoon.
Kimbrough intercepted by Andre Francis.
35 yards on the return.
Well, good pressure coming from the front seven of the Edmonton Eskimos. Larry Ruck gets in, and a pass just simply thrown to the middle of nowhere. Andre Francis waiting to grab his 4th interception of the year. And, of course, the luxury that the Edmonton Eskimos have game after game is they can wait for their offense to get into high gear because the defense creates so many opportunities for them.
Another turnover, and look where the Eskimos are with a first down at the Ottawa 23. Good fake by Ham. He sprints left, throws on the run. Tom Richards. A 23-yard touchdown for Tom Richards. The Eskimos can make it look easy. Richards' 6th touchdown of the year.
This play really shows you how far Tracy Ham has progressed as a quarterback. Rolling to your left, he feels just enough pressure coming from Samalo. He has to turn on the speed a little bit. And then the hardest throw you can hope to complete in professional football, back against the grain to Tom Richards. He found the open spot. His 6th touchdown, Edmonton's 2nd of the day.
2 turnovers, 2 touchdowns.
Another Tigertown ball into the end zone for
And it's 14-0 for the Eskimos, leading the Ottawa Rough Riders with 2:22 to play in the first quarter.
Now Tom Richards' 2nd catch of the afternoon, and he does a nice job to find an open area. He's the backside slot back in this play, certainly not the primary receiver, but he works his way into an open area. Tracy Ham throws back across the grain. Difficult pass to complete. Tom Richards with a nice move. And number 27, Daniel Hunter, and he gets into the end zone. Boy, oh boy, you give this team any kind of opportunity, and they are able to capitalize so quickly. Tracy Ham having a great year. Has rushed the football so well. Now has thrown for 24 touchdown passes, 3rd in the CFL, only behind Matt Dunnigan and Sean Salisbury.
Here's the drive. Well, it's not much of a drive. The turnover, and then 1 play to the end zone. Tom Richards, a 23-yard touchdown, and it bounces out on the ensuing kickoff.
Sincar's kick out of bounds at the 32-yard line. There is a penalty flag on the play. Kickoff. Edmonton number 4.
This is Brian Kelly Day at Commonwealth Stadium. They'll honor it.
5 yards back.
Their former all-star receiver at halftime. That'll say Brian Kelly soon, and that is up on the Eskimo Wall of Fame. Along the wall, Dan Kepley, Rolly Miles, Wilkie, and just a few of the Eskimo greats. Robert Reed on the return of a short kickoff. See what the Rough Riders can do offensively here now.
Met by Mark Mathis and Mike McLean. It's going to be first down Ottawa at the Ottawa Rough Riders 42-yard line. 1st and 10.
Tony Kimbrough. 0 for 6 so far. 0 for 7. Cornelius Reddick, the intended receiver. But they're in danger territory with Andre Francis covering.
Well, in all fairness to Tony Kimbrough, he read the defense correctly. He knew he was going to get one-on-one coverage with Andre Francis. Obviously, that's the way they like to play, but Andre Francis was not up and bump and run. It's a good situation to try and throw that 6-7-yard hitch pass, and that's what they need to complete on first down, because once again, 2nd and 10, and I mean, you cannot make a living against this defense doing that.
At the 42, this is Ken Abraire, and Abraire turns it up for a first down. First completion for Kimbrough, 20 yards, and the first down for Ottawa.
Mark Mathis is making his first start for the Edmonton Eskimos at that right inside halfback spot today. Kenny Abrera just goes down, pushes off, breaks to the outside with a nice pass pattern. Second and 10, the Ottawa Rough Riders are able to convert. Enos Jackson, of course, who was having a super year in his first year, is not in the lineup today, and Mark Mathis is replacement.
Ottawa with a first down at the Eskimo 49. Kimbrough fakes once. McDonald was too well covered.
Sammy Blair is so tough as a cornerback. Ray McDonald tried to run a little hitch stop and then pump fake and run upfield, and Stanley Blair just said no way. You know, you've got to establish that short pass first before you can run the hitch and go, and of course Ottawa has not done that. Didn't fool anybody.
Is Blair the best in the Canadian Football League?
I think he is. Yeah, I think he is.
Second and 10, Ottawa. Rough Riders, the Eskimo 49. For McDonald, and this time he broke out the pattern just a little bit early.
Kimbrough passing intended
Is that a quarterback error or a receiver error?
Well, I mean, he had some pretty good protection there to throw, but still throwing off the back foot. I simply think that ball sailed on him a little bit. Not bad job up front, and of course, that's a tough thing to do against that front seven of the Edmonton Eskimos. You know, if your quarterback finally gets time to throw, you got to start completing some.
Tom Schimmer for Hunter. Hunter bobbles it down near the 5. Chance for Ottawa. But the Eskimos come up with the ball. Leroy Blue.
Schimmer's kick travel 23 yards. Picked up by Leroy Blue at 5 yards.
Tony Hunter, second time he has not been able to handle the punt.
Eskimos a little lucky.
Oh, were they ever. Boy, were they ever lucky there. Well, when you're backed up on your own 5-yard line, sure is nice to be the leading rushing team in the CFL.
See if the Rough Rider defense can hold the Eskimos here. Well, there's a bit of a break for Ottawa as Tracy slips. And he was pinned by Scott Flagel.
Here's a great situation for Ottawa. Now they've got Edmonton 2nd and 12. Now they have been blitzing them on 2nd and long situations, and well, I really hope they stick with that game plan right here. Don't sit back on this offense. I mean, they've got some veteran receivers inside. Marco Sincar, Tom Richards, they can find those open spots. I say go after Ham and try and make some things happen on defense.
Maybe create a fumble here. Here's Ham. Back to throw, and he was hit as he intended that pass for Taylor. You called it, Coach.
Well, you know, they didn't go with an all-out blitz. They rushed 5 guys, the 4 down linemen and 1 linebacker, and that put enough pressure on Tracy Ham that he could not complete that pass. And so a pretty good quarter defensively for the Ottawa Rough Riders. Second quarter, they've got to pick up that offense.
The Edmonton Eskimos have 2 turnovers and 2 touchdowns as a result. After 1 quarter at Commonwealth in Edmonton, the Eskimos lead it 14-0.
There's one cake so good, it will keep you coming back for more. McCain Deep and Delicious Cakes, sealed with a see-through dome to keep in all that rich, moist, deliciously fresh taste. So you can raid the cake tray, seal up the rest, and put it back in the freezer till you're ready for the very next craving. McCain Deep and Delicious. Cake so good, it'll keep you coming back for more.
They're the top-ranking players in the world, competing in tournaments like the Australian Open, Wimbledon, the French and the U.S. Opens, Lendl, Becker, Egbert, Connors, and more. bring Grand Slam excitement to TSN. For men's tennis at its best, enjoy the men's championship final from the Stuttgart Classic, live Saturday, October 21st on TSN.
To begin the second quarter, the Eskimos out in front of Ottawa, 14-0. Corrick punting deep in his end zone. Do you go charging after him here, Leaf?
Boy, do I ever. You go all out. Listen, you're going to get good field position anyway. Try and get the freebie like Edmonton got early in the first quarter. They're coming too.
Charges on. Corrick gets it away. Rough Riders will have good field position as a result, though. Pee-wee Thurman gets inside the 35, and he's dropped there. Leroy Blue leading the Eskimo tacklers.
Good job by Pee-wee. I mean, he didn't have any blockers in front of him, but he picked up about 10 yards in that return. And Tony Kimbrough and his offense has some outstanding field position. Not too many times this year have teams been able to start drives on Edmonton's own 32-yard line. Such is the case now for Kimbrough. Up to him now to generate a little more offense.
From the 32, a first down Ottawa. Kimbrough. And he overthrew Gerald Wilcox, number 87. Second and 10.
Kimbrough's pass intended for Wilcox.
14-0. The Eskimos lead the Ottawa Rough Riders. It could have been worse. 61 yards net offense for the Eskimos, and they have 2 touchdowns on the board, 2 turnovers. Direct results.
Minus 22 drives. Will not get you a whole lot, though. That's what Ottawa had in the first quarter.
Second and 10, Ottawa. Kimbrough quickly over the middle. It's wide open. How about that? Conrad goes for the touchdown. A 32-yard major for the Ottawa Rough Riders. Kimbrough read it well.
Boy, did he ever read it right. I mean, you know it's coming, and Tony Kimbrough saw it. He hit Conrad quickly. Somebody made a mistake in that Edmonton secondary. Usually the responsibility of either the middle safety or the outside linebacker. Nevertheless, a mistake was made. David Conrad, how about his numbers for the year? His 5th catch, his 3rd touchdown. I'd call that pretty good production, wouldn't you?
Not bad. He has not been effective carrying the football. 1 carry for minus 2 yards, but as a receiver coming out of that fullback spot, he has done well.
Well, certainly nice to see Ottawa take advantage of that field position after the Corrick punt. First down at the Edmonton 32-yard line. 1 incomplete pass, 1 completed pass to David Conrad, and they have a 32-yard touchdown, and they're back in this thing.
Now, is this a perfect read by Kimbrough?
It is an absolutely perfect read. This is something, obviously, during the week they have talked about. We get 2nd and 10. When you see this, you throw here, and we should get a big play.
And they did.
It's happened a few times to Edmonton. Some of the games we've seen, they have made some mistakes in the secondary on their coverage patterns. And of course, when you're blitzing that much and you're playing so much man-to-man, sometimes there is a mistake on covering that 3rd receiver. When we talk about 3rd receiver in, you go wide receiver, slot back, and then running back. And there was a mistake made. David Conrad, who Steve Goldman said is just rounding into shape. He didn't start playing for them till back in September. Of course, he came over in the equalization draft from the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Well, good news for Ottawa coming up with a touchdown to cut the Eskimo deficit to 7 points, or the deficit they are in arrears to the Eskimos. It's a 7. Short kick. And Marshall is stopped near the 45 at the 47.
33 yards, picked up by Blake Marshall.
Pretty loud popping going on down there on that kickoff return.
Ottawa's defense has played well so far, actually.
I think they have, and I think Steve Goldman would be happy. It has to be happy with that. That's a sore spot for him. There you see a couple of plays. David Conrad, 32-yard touchdown pass, his 3rd of 1989.
Now it's up to the Ottawa defense once more to see if they can hold the Eskimos. Tracy Ham has Marshall wide open. Out near the 52, short of the first down, and stopped by Young.
Tracy Ham passing complete to Blake Marshall, brought down by Young, number 21.
That is Brett Young.
Pickup of 8 yards. It'll be 2nd down, 2 yards to go. Eskimos.
Blake Marshall, the first round draft pick, 1987 for the Edmonton Eskimos.
Eskimos convert on 2nd and 2. And Brett Young is in on the tackle on Reggie Taylor that time.
Well, this is the way the Edmonton Eskimos have been able to wear down so many defenses in 1989. Now they go without a huddle, but that running game, of course, first in the league, is so effective for them.
Tip ball, chance for the interception, and Flagel has it. First down for the Ottawa Rough Riders as Flagel was waiting for a ruling. He had the ball and a free shot at it here as Tracy Ham fired, and it deflected high.
Scott Flagel's played a real big part on that defense since he came over in that trade with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. His 5th interception of the season. Tracy Ham gets a bit of a bad break here as the ball is tipped, bounced up in the air. Now it's basketball time. Go up and clear the boards, and Scott Flagel came down with it. So the Ottawa Rough Riders finally get a break this afternoon and try and get back in this game.
On first down, Kimbrough had time and has a first down to Cornelius Reddick, number 8. Got that in front of Andre Francis. Gain of 14.
Seems like Tony Kimbrough has been able to get over the initial shock against playing this tough defense, and sees the pressure coming and just gets rid of the ball in time. He's really hanging in the pocket quite admirably, I think.
Ottawa first down. Early movement from the Eskimos. Mandarich appeared to be moving a little quickly there. Orville Lee had absolutely nowhere to go.
Offside, Edmonton 75, still first down.
So many times defensive linemen try and guess the snap count instead of just watching the football for the snap. Mandarich got caught that time. Originally the first-round choice of the Eskimos way back in 1984 from Kent State. We all know who his brother is.
Come on, nigga, that's what you got, nigga.
First and 5 for Ottawa. Pitch to Orville Lee, and the reverse to Reddick. Sniffed up by Danny Bass.
Well, you know, they tried that play earlier with Gerald Alphin on the slot back reverse. This is not a good call against this kind of a defense. Edmonton, with so many blitz packages, so tough to get a blocking scheme against them on any kind of running play. I think the trick plays are something you should not even think about when you play against Edmonton. Boy, that reverse cost them.
From first and 5 to second and 15. And Lee cranks a big one to give the Ottawa Rough Riders a big turnaround here out across midfield. Orville Lee, just when it looked real bleak for Ottawa on second and 15, Orville Lee comes up.
What a big 22-yard
gain.
22-yard, excuse me, John. And on the draw play, nice move right there. Jeff Braswell absolutely freezes him. Has Brad Tierney, number 55, out in front, who does not get a great block for him, but enough that on second and 15, when you convert, boy, you've got to be happy about that.
Kimbrough on first down, looking for Alphin.
Kimbrough passing incomplete.
13 covering for the Eskimos is Mark Mathis.
I read a quote about Gerald Alphin in the paper this morning. I thought it was pretty interesting. He said, you know, we still have a lot to play for. He said, I hope that a lot of guys on this level would think the same way I do. You go out in the field and you try to get better every time. If you don't, you regress as an athlete. Well, I think that's a great attitude for a guy who's on a team that's 2-12, and he himself has had an outstanding year. Third year in his career, he's been over 1,000 yards. The leader in yardage so far this season. Gerald Alphin, a real nice guy, and certainly an all-star in this league.
He's been through the tough times in Ottawa, hasn't he?
Well, I'll tell you what's carried him through is his attitude. He has been a treat. Steve Goldman has said that. All the coaches have said that. Boy, in any of our conversations with him, he's always upbeat, always thinks that they have a chance to win, and of course really shows it by the way he plays game after game.
This is second and 10 for the Rough Riders. Ball at the Eskimo 53. They try the draw to Orville Lee once more, and Lee will be short by a couple of first down.
Wellesley, this is the best Orville Lee has run all season long. His confidence was at an all-time low. They sat him out for a few games. Now he is back in. And that draw play he ran for 22 yards was as good a run as he made all season long.
He grabbed 6 more on that carry, but it is not enough. Third down. Schimmer kicking for Ottawa. And this is Keith Wright on the return. There's not much. Bruce Holmes leading the tacklers for the Ottawa Rough Riders. It'll be first down, Eskimos. 21 when we return.
They're super collector cards and the stars of the CFL.
Wait a second, just hold it. Life's fast, no question, lots of hassles. My philosophy? Food shouldn't be a hassle. Pizza Pops, they fill that gap fast. When it's fast and good, take it slow and easy. New Pizza Pops, more than just a snack. A philosophy. Pizza Pops, inhale one today.
Bright blue skies over Commonwealth and Edmonton this afternoon. What a lovely day for a football game.
Beautiful. See those flags blowing in the background there with that crisp north air coming in.
Your health is just that much more enjoyable.
Our game of the week next week from Taylor Field could be a pretty good one with the Stampeders sailing along lately against the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Big game this afternoon for Saskatchewan as they host the Toronto Argonauts. How about Calgary last night? Did they not look good? 46-11, just absolutely hammered the BC Lions, 51-11.
Now you jumped on that Calgary bandwagon pretty quickly there. You picked them 1 week in about week 3, and Coach Larry Kuharek thanked you very much for picking them that week.
I think that was the turnaround week for them.
They watched that show.
Now they have played well. You know, the defense. You know, they had a bad week a couple of weeks ago. Nice to see the team rebound like that. And I'm sure that's very gratifying for Larry Kuharek, who's worked so hard to establish a lot of pride on that team. They have that. They've got a great defense, and the offense is doing enough right things to make them a real contender.
Reggie Taylor on first down for the Eskimos. He has another first down. And Taylor's still going as he gets to the outside. Joe Samalo trying to chase him down and forcing him out of bounds. Just when the Ottawa Rough Riders had the Eskimos pinned deep in Edmonton territory, a 41-yard run for Reggie Taylor.
Boy, you don't see this too often anymore. The sweep around. There comes number 57. The left guard, Randy Ambrosi, who came over in a trade from Toronto. Nice cutback by Reggie Taylor, and then uses his speed to go 41 yards.
On first down, Keith Wright hauls one in from Tracy Ham, but it looks like it might be coming back on a procedure call. 9:36 till halftime.
Well, I think it's really made Tracy Ham's job so much easier as a quarterback this year to have that kind of a running game. Doesn't feel like he has to throw all the time. In fact, you know, they lead the CFL in rushing, of course, and only 5th in passing, average about 264 yards a game. But quite simply, I mean, they could throw for a lot more yardage, but they just don't have to.
This will be 1st and 20 for the Eskimos. Back now at the Edmonton 52. Draw play for Taylor. Tripped up and slowed down, but Taylor still gets halfway to a first down with a gain of close to 10.
Well, when we talked to Joe Faragelli at the beginning of 1989, he said this was the one area that Edmonton really had to improve on offense. That was a breakaway running back, a threat every time he's touched the football, and boy, Reggie Taylor has not let them down one bit.
Eskimos into a hurry-up offense. That's Tom Richards. He should have the first down. So many weapons, Leaf.
Yeah, they really do. Good veteran inside receivers with Sinkar and Richards this afternoon. Tom Richards just finds the hole in that defense in between the linebackers, and Tyrone Pope, the inside safety, settles down. Tracy Ham throws a nice strike to him.
Another Eskimo first down at the 33. Here's Richards open again inside the 5. Tyrone Pope saved the touchdown.
Pretty good post pattern, double coverage with the linebacker short, Tyrone Pope deep, but a good throw by Tracy Ham kept Richards to the inside. No way they could break it up. He's having himself some half.
And this is Reggie Taylor heading for the touchdown. Looks like he stopped at the 1. 29 yards in the previous play.
Reggie Taylor, ball carrier.
It'll be 2nd and goal to go from the 1. Good call.
Taylor picking up a couple of yards.
7:48 till halftime. The Eskimos threaten to add to their 7-point lead. On the Ottawa Rough Riders, it's 14-7. 2nd and goal to go. There's Johnstone, and that is the touchdown. Number 6 of the season for Chris Johnstone.
Well, pretty easy for Chris Johnstone along the left side. Pierre Vercheval, Heck Potier. He sees a little opening, squares his shoulders to the line of scrimmage and blasts through for his 6th touchdown, Edmonton's 3rd of the ball game, and they put a nice drive together. Big run by Reggie Taylor, a couple of nice catches by Tom Richards. That's the way they've done it all year long.
Seven. Chris Johnstone puts the Eskimos out in front by 14, and the Ottawa Rough Riders once more.
Now the final chapter, students, in Bosworth's book of etiquette, personal hygiene. I suggest right guard sport from Gillette, maximum protection, and a fresh scent. Anything less would be uncivilized.
Air Canada's executive class. Convenience, comfortable, almost completely effortless. Some say it's the way business travel was meant to be.
With low back pain, every step shoots pain. Up here. Know what helps?
Clinically proven Back Guard, a shoe insert. Watch how it absorbs foot shock to relieve low back pain.
Amazing. Something down here can help up here.
New Back Guard from Dr. Scholl's.
Chris Johnstone has 6 touchdowns on the season. The Eskimos have the lead at 21-7 thanks to Johnstone's last touchdown, and Marco Sinkar prepares to kick off. Too deep for Ottawa. Pee Wee Thurman and Cornelius Reddick. Bouncing over Thurman's head. Now he starts the return. A little bit of a seam as Thurman gets out across the 35 and was stopped by the kicker, Marco Sinkar.
You know, you see all kinds of guys falling down today, and yet Pee Wee Thurman made that cut right there and really stopped on a dime, changed directions. Let's go back and have a look at that scoring drive. Nice 89-yard drive engineered by Tracy Ham. Big run by Reggie Taylor. A couple of Tom Richards catches, took it down to the 2-yard line where Chris Johnstone finished it off.
First down, Ottawa. Tony Kimbrough begins at the 38 and looks long, intercepted by the safety, Mark Norman.
Kimbrough pass is headed for Ray McDonald. Mark.
Who was the intended receiver? It might have been McDonald.
I believe it was Ray McDonald on the rollout here. Kimbrough sees the pressure coming from Danny Bass. He has to let the ball go before he's ready. Thought McDonald was going to break to the outside. Mark Norman with a nice job to come over and pick off his 3rd pass of the year. Mark Norman in and out of the lineup this year with injuries. You know, in 1986 with the UBC Thunderbirds, he had 12 interceptions in one season. Now, how about him for an off-season job? He is the Dolphin trainer at the West Edmonton Mall. Not bad.
Where did you find that out? Wide open, right, and he'll score. No, hang on, out at the 1. Caught from behind by by Daniel Hunter. A 59-yard strike for Keith Wright.
Keith Wright spent all of 1988 on the practice roster with the Eskimos. This year, he got his chance. He's played some pretty good football for them. Here, he just simply outruns Daniel Hunter, and had the ball been thrown a little farther, would have scored easily. Hunter catches him up, knocks him out on the 1-yard line, but what a great catch for him. 35 now on the season for Keith Wright.
Adds to the Eskimo total.
Well, John, we've just seen a prime example of what the good teams are able to do. The defense, of course, is so good for Edmonton. They keep the offense in the game for the first quarter and a half, and now the offense getting on track with Tracy Hand, the running game working, the passing game working, and now they just seem to put everything together and are starting to steamroll the Ottawa Rough Riders.
3 turnovers, 3 touchdowns. And for good measure, the Eskimos had a long drive for the other touchdown. It is 28-7. The Eskimos leading on Blake Marshall's latest touchdown. Shaping up to be another long afternoon for the Ottawa Rough Riders.
Not a happy group over there. They've seen this happen so many times this year. Well, hopefully for Goldman, better times ahead. And the fire truck may run out of gas here this afternoon, Wellesley.
I wonder how many miles that fire truck has on it, cruising around Clark Stadium in the days when you used to play.
I hated
Commonwealth here.
I hated that truck. I had nightmares hearing that damn thing go around the field.
On the kickoff, Pee Wee Thurman tries to find room to the far side, and there is not much there. Pee Wee Thurman is buried at the 36.
Sicar's kick traveled 45 yards.
You probably like that fire truck, don't you?
No, I don't really. The Eskimos have done a terrific job over the last decade in Canadian football with all the championships and the talent that they keep coming up with, but some might say that they have hurt the Canadian Football League by that decade of excellence. And I might be inclined to agree. It has been a long time since any other team has had a chance to dominate in the CFL. It would be a pretty good bet right now that the Eskimos will be representing the West in the Grey Cup of the Western Final here at Commonwealth.
I don't think too many people would bet against you.
And what the league really needs at a point in time like this is somebody like Saskatchewan or Calgary to come up here and knock off the Eskimos in the Western Final and add a little bit of fan excitement to one of those two cities.
So are you saying that's what you'd like to see happen then? Calgary
I would love to see Calgary or Saskatchewan here winning on a Western Final afternoon. I like that too. Gerald Alphin making the catch inside the 30.
Now, Gerald Alphin has really established himself as one of the premier receivers since he has come into the Canadian Football League. And of course, I guess the yardstick for all receivers now is that 1,000-yard season. That is the mark that separates the good ones. And Gerald Alphin has done that 3 years consecutively. Here, a nice catch over Don Wilson
for 40 yards. Inside the 30, it is a first down Ottawa at the Edmonton 28. Orville Lee has a couple. Tough to run against the toaster.
Get about a half a yard. We'll make it second down, 9.5.
Orville Lee, hard to believe now that we are in the 15th week of 1989. He is still looking for his first touchdown, either through the air or on the ground.
2nd and 9, Ottawa now. Flag is down. Lee coming out of the backfield, trying for the first down. He's a couple short. Could be a procedure call against Ottawa. That's the indication from referee Dave Ewell.
Looked like Tony Kimbrough called an audible there on the left guard. I believe Rocco Romano got a little jumpy.
Procedure, Ottawa number 58, second down repeated.
Well, the second time this afternoon, Rocco Romano has been called for a legal procedure, and what could have set up maybe a good third down gamble. It looked like Lee came up about 1.5 yards short. Now they move back in that unenviable area of being 2nd and 15 against a defense that doesn't allow a whole lot.
4:02 till halftime. It is 28-7 for the Eskimos, leading the Ottawa Rough Riders. Kimbrough for Reddick, a little too high. Andre Francis covering.
You notice Tony Kimbrough's been high in a lot of his passes this afternoon. Just doesn't seem to follow through. Andre Francis, 1 interception already today. Outstanding cornerback. Edmonton Eskimos, of course, blessed with 2 great ones. Stanley Blair on the one side, Andre Francis on the other. Boy, that allows them to play all those kind of risky defenses where they send so many people because they know they get the great one-on-one coverage back in that secondary.
40-yard field goal try for Dean Dorsey.
Of course, this is into the wind. He'll have to hit this one pretty good.
Just what he did, Leaf. Didn't clear the post by much, but Dorsey adds 3 more for the Ottawa Rough Riders. It is 28-10, the Rough Riders trailing the Eskimos at Commonwealth in Edmonton.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're here to attempt another McCain Cheddar test. Wendy has the McCain Cheddar, and her grandpa has the other leading brand. Wendy's tasting hers. It's smooth, smooth as the fresh milk it's made from. She really loves that creamy McCain taste. Sir, please, taste your own cheese. Sir. Oh, well, it's no surprise, because McCain calls in a century of cheese making to create that winning taste.
Grandpa likes McCain.
The frustrations continue for Ottawa head coach Steve Goldman, former assistant with the Edmonton Eskimos, taking over as head man in Ottawa in 1989. I don't know if Steve realized how big a rebuilding job it was going to be for his Ottawa team.
Well, of course, he didn't take over until late in the spring. And, you know, they only had 35 players under contract when he took over that team, and that's not a whole lot of guys to go to training camp with. So they had a struggle, and they picked up a few guys through the equalization, guys like David Conrad, Alps Carter, but they are still a long way from being, of course, where they would like to be.
And coming into this afternoon's game, there are 9 Ottawa starters, players that Goldman said would be starting for him this afternoon, that are on the injury list, and that includes, of course, Damon Allen, their outstanding quarterback.
Well, that makes it pretty tough. And Joe Ferrighelli, on the other hand, has a veteran group here in Edmonton. Seems like when somebody goes down with an injury, there's always a veteran around to replace another veteran, and makes his job a lot easier. But they have done a nice coaching job here in Edmonton, have a great team, no question about it.
This is Hunter on the kick return. Chased from behind and dragged down by Daniel Hunter.
The Hunter and the Hunted.
And they're both down at the 50. You used to be a kick returner in your day, did you not?
Punt returner, Regina, 1974. 56 returned.
12 yards. No, I'm kidding.
Wow, not much more.
But those were the days before you could block, right?
That's right. It was not a fun job.
So Hunter of the Eskimos has over 1,000 this year. Here's Tracy Ham in some difficulty, and he escapes. Back to your 57 with the Rough Riders. How many yards would you figure that year that you returned?
I would say probably about 270 yards on 56 returns.
It was a little tougher, though, Leif, without the blockers out front.
Well, you know, like those guys used to come downfield, about 10 of them. What you do, you catch the ball, and you'd pick out the first guy, and you try to dive between his legs, let him fall on top of you, and then all the other guys would hit him. See, there was a secret to this. Strategy.
Those were the days they called it the Suicide Squad.
Oh, it was. I was nuts, for being honest.
The Eskimos in front of the Rough Riders, 28-10.
Well, this could be your play of the game, making offense.
hold of a cold OV, you know you're doing it right.
Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton, the only real football field left in the Canadian League, at least.
It's a beautiful field out here, grass field in great shape. There's Rick Warman, who is the backup quarterback this afternoon. I'm sure if this game gets out of hand, we will see him play. And of course, I've always been a big fan of his. Thought he's always played well every time he's had the opportunity. Of course, a starter for a couple of seasons with the Calgary Stampeders.
The Eskimos have another quarterback dressed this afternoon as well in number 10, Steve Taylor. We wonder if we'll see him.
Tracy Ham had an interesting quote the other day in the paper, too. You know, they're talking about how his receivers have made so many good catches for him this year, and he said, hey, they may look tough, but if I'm going to stand in the pocket and take all those hits, I expect them to make those catches. And I kind of agree with him, you know. What the heck? If I'm going to get hit, they might as well catch it.
Edmonton first down at the 49, and Ham unloads this for Murray. Number 84, Walter Murray, not quite quick enough that time. Ham overthrew him. Take your pick.
Murray getting the start this afternoon because Tony Hunter has that nerve problem in the neck. 6'3", 200 pounds. He's had 5 receptions for the Edmonton Eskimos, and there you see he is from Liberty University. I have no idea where Liberty University is.
I have to check that out. Liberty U. 2:42 till halftime. It is 2nd and 10 for the Eskimos now. And this is Reggie Taylor. He was cornered well short of a first down, and finally Bruce Holmes dragged him down, but Taylor is within a yard, I think, maybe a yard and a half.
It's a good extra effort, and that's, of course, what Tracy Ham knows about Reggie Taylor, that he can make some extra yards after he catches the football. He's not afraid on 2nd and long to give it to him out in the flat, and there he goes with some good moves, and finally the tackle by Bruce Holmes. But, boy, he picked up about an extra 5 yards on his own and now sets them up with that 3rd down gamble.
It is 3rd and 2. The Eskimos are going for it. No flags. This is Chris Johnstone easily for the first down.
Chris Johnstone on 3rd down.
Well, they bring in John Mandrich and Brett Williams for some extra blocking power, and that time on the left side with Heck Potier. They collapse the entire defense. Johnstone makes a nice read to break it to the outside. And we've got that kind of an offensive line and those big, strong running backs. It's not a huge gamble on 3rd and 2.
Another Eskimo first down. More time for Tracy Ham, who steps up and unloads for another first down to Tom Richards.
Tracy Ham passing to Tom Richards.
Richards just outside the 20, so the Eskimos continue the drive with 1:49 to go till halftime.
Of course, Tom Richards looking for his first 1,000-yard season in the Canadian Football League. Has 5 catches for 108 yards, and now he's only 64 yards away from that magic plateau.
Tracy Ham looks to the end zone. A flag is down on Hopper. Walter Murray, number 84, the intended receiver. Little doubt here that the flag should have been thrown.
Well, Walter Murray was trying to adjust to the football, and as he slowed up, Darrell Hopper just ran right into him, knocked him down, and of course that out in the open area of the field, pretty easy call. There you see it, no question about that one.
Could have nailed Hopper for dancing there too.
Well, he was trying to lead a little bit.
Who was leading on that dance step?
Yeah. Anyway,
romance in the end zone.
1st and goal.
Should be easy for the Eskimos from here. Chris Johnstone has the touchdown. Touchdown after another. The story of the Eskimos' success this season, and particularly here this afternoon.
Well, it's like we talked at the beginning of the show, John. We said, well, you know, maybe Ottawa can hang in, get a break here and there. And I suggested over the course of 60 minutes, pretty tough for them to hang in against this team.
5 converted touchdowns.
Another touchdown ball into the end zone for 5
Spilt the coffee there, Leaf. I'll be all right.
Yeah, are you excited or what? Like, I mean,
I hope I didn't spill any on you there.
Spilt on my new coat here. Now, what is it?
5 to 10.
Are you nervous or excited?
No, I just actually stepped on my microphone cord here.
Be a little coordination test here pretty soon.
A minute 27 till halftime. The Eskimos with a comfortable margin on the Ottawa Rough Riders. Here's Steve Taylor, the third-string quarterback. He's also listed as a backup wide receiver.
Now, should we get the life jackets out in here or what?
It's only coffee, Leaf. Now, hang on. Fumble. The turnover is avoided. Pee-wee Thurman got back just in time. There were a couple of Eskimos moving in for a loose football, but Pee-wee Thurman makes the recovery.
8 yards. For a quick reduction was not down by Viking play. It'll be first down, 10 yards to go, Ottawa. At the Ottawa 27-yard line.
$35 to 10. The Eskimos leading the Ottawa Rough Riders. And Orville Lee has nowhere to go against that very stingy Eskimo defense led by Stuart Hill that time.
We'll make it second down.
Wilkie and Rowley, Eskimo old-timers on hand here for Brian Kelly Day. Joe Holloman is down there too.
Joe Holloman was a great player. I used to like playing against him. Real tough, good-sized corner.
Over the middle for Avrere and picked off. Another turnover going to the Eskimos. Mark Mathis. He blocked a punt earlier, has an interception now.
Mark Mathis has been with the Eskimos all season long on the practice roster. Finally gets a chance to play today. Of course, his first interception. He's blocked a punt. Now an interception. Fourth turnover of the afternoon for Tony Kimbrough and the Ottawa Rough Rider offense. And, well, you know, just time after time, that one-on-one coverage, and they play it so tightly. Well, that's a great interception.
Tracy Ham looks deep. And Sinkar, the intended receiver.
Tracy Ham, pass intended for Marco Sinkar, covered on the play, number 21, Brett Young. Pass goes incomplete. It'll be second down.
47 seconds till halftime. Eskimos have 35 points on the board. And Brian Kelly will be added to the Wall of Fame here at halftime this afternoon. Outstanding wide receiver for the Eskimos for so many years. Marco Sinkar can't bring that pass down from Tracy Ham on 2nd and 10.
Tracy Ham pass intended for Marco Sinkar, covered on the play, number 21, Young. It'll go third down.
Well, some old Eskimo quarterbacks there. Tom Wilkinson, Jack Parker.
Now, does Wilkie ever go anywhere without that little bit of chewing tobacco stuck in there?
He was at the racetrack yesterday for Matt Scooter's big day over at Northlands in Edmonton. And he had
little chew in there?
The fat cheek out there yesterday, too.
It's tough thing, though. You always got to have a cup with you if you're indoors.
This is Pee-wee Thurman. Pee-wee has not had a big day on kick returns for the Ottawa Rough Riders. The Eskimos have had it covered very well. Wilkie spends a lot of time at the track. He's an owner of a couple of standard bred horses.
Are they good runners or good eaters?
Well, they're good eaters right now, he says, but there's always hope. We were there yesterday to watch Matt Scooter at Northlands, and it was inevitable that the Scooter was going to win the Stuart Fraser Memorial yesterday afternoon. Almost like inevitable that the Eskimos would win this football game this afternoon, and that Gretzky later tonight will establish a new time scoring record over at Northlands, a couple of blocks from here.
Kind of nice that Gretzky gets to come back to Edmonton and try and establish that record in a city where he had so many great years.
You kind of get the feeling that Gretzky knew all along that he would have a good shot at setting the record in front of Peter Pocklington and the Edmonton Oilers here at Northlands Coliseum tonight. Alphen, the intended receiver. It was Wilson covering on the play. And a shot at the interception.
Wilson covering on the play. It'll be third down, 9 yards to go, Ottawa.
Into the final 10 seconds now. The Ottawa Rough Riders send Tom Schimmer back to the 10. He'll kick it away. Low kick. It'll make for a tough return for Hunter here. Out to the 51. And that should be the opening half. It is. With Joe Farraghelli and the Eskimos out in front of the Ottawa Rough Riders by a comfortable 25 points. Long way back for Steve Goldman as he regroups at halftime. At the half, the Eskimos have 35. The Ottawa Rough Riders have 10.
Eskimos 35.
We'll take a quick timeout and send you back to Toronto in this update with Vic Ryder.
Thank you, John. Hello, everybody. Busy day in the CFL. A couple of other games to get you caught up on. Let's start with Winnipeg and Hamilton, Ivor Wynne Stadium Hall of Fame Day. Second half, Bombers leading 17-13, and what a great call there as Todd Dillon fakes and finds Jed Tommy. Ticats now lead 29-19 as they're late in the fourth. Toronto visiting Saskatchewan, Taylor Field, 2nd and 14 Riders. Nice pattern. Kent Austin to Mark Guy, and they are in the second period there, and it is 13-7. All right, NFL scores to tell you about. Minnesota, a winner over Green Bay, 26-14. Herschel Walker, 148 yards. Houston upset Chicago, 33-28. The Giants continue to lead the NFC East, winning by 3 over Washington. Atlanta comes back on a late field goal to beat New England. Late in the fourth period, Tampa Bay by 6 over Detroit as the Lions could go 0-6. Dallas 0-6 as they lose to San Francisco. And Miami surprise Cincinnati, the final 20-13. Bengals now 4-2.
He's the greatest golfer of all time, the legendary Bobby Jones. Back in the 1930s, Warner Brothers produced 18 instructional films featuring Bobby Jones and some of the top Hollywood stars of the day. Most of the prints were either lost or damaged. In 1986, a set of perfectly preserved masters was found. The Jones family then asked Cybervision to make these priceless films available to the public once again. Sports Illustrated has called this collector's edition the best motion picture instructionals ever made of any sport.
I've always thought that if a game was worth playing at all, it was worth making some effort to play it correctly.
Order Volume 1, The Full Swing. Or order Volume 2, From Tee to Green. Just call toll-free 1-800-666-4660. Each video is $85 plus $3.50 shipping and handling. 1-800-666-4660. Or send check or money order to iLevel Video, Post Office Box 7, Port Credit, Ontario. Please specify VHS or Beta, and sorry, no CODs.
It is a great day to honor both the Edmonton Eskimos and past and great, and also the CFL Hall of Fame nominees. This is Hall of Fame weekend. Brian Kelly is the special honoree this year. His name is going up on the Wall of Honor here at Commonwealth Stadium, and we'll talk to him shortly. It has been Hall of Fame weekend at Hamilton, of course, the traditional game being played today between the Blue Bombers and the Ticats. But it was a very special time on Saturday as 5 new inductees joined the CFL's Hall of Fame. We get the story now from TSN's Mark Bunting.
Jerry Keeling played quarterback for 15 seasons in the CFL with Calgary, Ottawa, and Hamilton. He's best known for winning Grey Cups with the Stampeders in 1971 and Ottawa in '73. Although the '71 Grey Cup win seems to get lost in the shuffle, it's usually remembered for Leon McQuay's fumble.
Everybody that I talk to about, the first thing they say, oh yeah, that's the game that Toronto lost because McQuay fumbled in the last game. But of course, we don't remember it that way. We remember, you know, the rest of the game where we pretty well dominated the game through the first half, and then in the second half they had the chance. I threw that bad interception at the end and gave them a chance to come back at the end, but luckily McQuay did fumble the ball.
I think that the biggest thing I remember was that they felt he couldn't throw the ball, and yet when you watched him, he got that ball done, got the job done, and threw the ball as well as any quarterback at that time.
Andy Tommy started playing rugby in 1931 and finished his career with the Toronto Argonauts in 1947. He's represented by his widow, Helen. CFL chairman Roy McMurtry was an Argo water boy in 1945 when Tommy and the Argos won the Grey Cup.
Well, it was rather a one-sided game. I remember the Winnipeg were beaten by the Argos of 35-0, which was a pretty big score in those days. It was only 5-point touchdown. And I don't remember the details, quite frankly, other than that he was quite prominent, as I recall.
When people are inducted into the Canadian Football Hall of Fame, they'll usually tell you it's the culmination of their football careers, the icing on the cake, because it's a great honor. It's not like the Hollywood Walk of Fame where everybody gets a star. This is a very exclusive group. There are only 147 inductees in the hall, including the 5 new ones this weekend. For the CFL, Mark Bunting in Hamilton.
Thank you, Mark, very much. Congratulations to all of this year's inductees into the CFL Hall of Fame. It is halftime at Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton with the Eskimos leading the Ottawa Rough Riders 35-10. And we'll get to Leif Pedersen and some first half highlights when we come back after this.
This quality moment in sport is brought to you by Ford of Canada. Ford proudly salutes the ultimate in performance and success.
Friday night, the Canucks hosting the Los Angeles Kings, and Wayne Gretzky just 5 points short of Gordie Howe's all-time NHL scoring record. Game tied at 5, 1 second left in regulation time, and Gretzky finds Steve Casper with the winning goal. It's Gretzky's 3rd point of the game. He is just 2 shy of the all-time mark.
At Ford, quality is job one.
Pulling power. Which full-size pickup truck has the most? We took the truck with the biggest standard engine and put it up against the truck with the most standard torque. And let them pull. And the answer is, it's the truck with both. Ford F-Series has the biggest engine and the most torque. No wonder it's the best-selling truck in Canada. At Ford, the toughest competition we have is ourselves.
Ironically, had it not been the problem.
Welcome back to Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton. It's at halftime. Special ceremonies honoring Brian Kelly, a part of the halftime festivities here at the stadium today. We want to talk about the highlights of the first half. The highlights, for the most part, involved the Edmonton Eskimos. Ottawa kept it close for the first quarter or so, Leaf, and then all of a sudden everything went haywire so far as Steve Goldman was concerned.
Peter, I thought Ottawa played a super first quarter on defense. Offense couldn't get anything going, but the Edmonton Eskimos, as they do so many times week after week, the defense keeps them in there until the offense gets untracked, and that's exactly what happened. The Eskimos got off to a great start early in the game, though. I mean, the Ottawa Rough Riders, here's a team that struggled all season long. You hate to give a good team like the Edmonton Eskimos a break early, but they do, as Tom Schimmer's punt is blocked by number 13, Mark Mathis, who's playing his first game for the Eskimos. In fact, Mark Mathis with a great half. He had an interception as well. Don Wilson picks up the loose ball and takes it into the end zone early in the first quarter. Edmonton up by 7-0. A young fellow who's had a great year for Edmonton is Tom Richards, their fine inside slot back, 3rd year in the league from the University of Alberta. That's 6th TD of the year. Nice pass from Tracy Ham. Edmonton up 14-0. At this point now, it looked as though the Ottawa Rough Riders may make a comeback and get themselves back into this game. 2nd and 10 on the blitz. Tony Kimbrough reads it perfectly, hits the halfback David Conrad, maybe a coverage breakdown. He is wide open, 32 yards. He is into the end zone with his 3rd touchdown of the year on only 5 receptions. Pretty good numbers for him, but boy, the Edmonton Eskimos took control from there. 3 turnovers, 3 touchdowns. Reggie Taylor, the fine running back who leads the Canadian Football League in rushing, he had 8 carries for 80 yards, a big 41-yarder that set up the 2 touchdowns by his running mate, Chris Johnstone. So it's been all Edmonton in the first half as they lead the Ottawa Rough Riders 35-10. And Peter, I don't know about you, I don't like Ottawa's chances in the second half for coming back and making this a close football game.
Well, I think the interesting thing, Leaf, will be to see if we see Ken Hobart in the second half. I would guess that if Tony Kimbrough's ankle is hurting him a little bit, that we might see Hobart. but Kimbrough needs the work as well, and so perhaps he will stay with Kimbrough in the second half. We will see. At any rate, it is 35-10. The Edmonton Eskimos in front of the Ottawa Rough Riders. Halftime at Commonwealth continues after this.
The CFL Stars of the Week are brought to you by Texaco. The offensive star, David Streeter, the BC Lions. Streeter set a club record with 14 receptions for 234 yards and a couple of touchdowns as the Lions beat the Hamilton Tiger Cats 46-27 in Week 14. The defensive star, Stanley Blair of the Edmonton Eskimos. Blair picked off one pass, returned a fumble for 62 yards as the Eskimos defense did a number on Winnipeg, winning 45-7. And the lineman of the week, Blair's teammate, Brett the Toaster Williams. Williams a big factor in the trenches where he dominated the Blue Bombers' offensive line and made several key tackles and one sack.
Your Texaco retailer isn't faster than a speeding bullet. He can't leap tall buildings in a single bound. And he's slightly less powerful than a locomotive. But when you need service, he's there. Besides, he's a super guy. Expect more from Texaco.
Will that be all?
You got a phone booth around here?
Once again, David Streeter, the offensive star. Stanley Blair, the defensive star. And Brett, the Toaster Williams, the lineman of the week. Those are your Texaco Stars of the Week.
Halftime at Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton. The Eskimos in front by 25 points thanks to a big explosion in the second quarter where they took advantage of some Ottawa mistakes and made the most of them as they usually do. Well, an entertaining first half certainly for the fans here who are now paying tribute to Brian Kelly, who's being inducted into the Wall of Honor. And right now, let's go up to the broadcast booth and talk a little bit about Brian Kelly. Here's John and Lee.
And here's Brian at center stage right now, the receiver of 97 touchdowns in his CFL career that spanned from 1979 to 1987. He's thanking everyone here at Commonwealth. Let's listen in.
Myself and all the Eskimos down on the field. Thank you.
Well, we just got the tail end of the Brian Kelly speech, but boy, Lee, when you look at his great years with the Edmonton Eskimos, he certainly had a flair for making some big plays. A guy with apparently very little speed, but this was Brian Kelly.
Well, the man they call Howdy Doody affectionately here in Edmonton really had some kind of career, and he was a real treat for me to watch as an opposing receiver and try and learn something from him. You know, he was not a guy blessed with tremendous speed, but as you see in some of these clips from his past career, exceptional moves and great timing and correlation with all the quarterbacks that he played with here in Edmonton. He had some great quarterbacks throwing to him, but watch the moves right there. And, you know, I think the biggest tribute you could pay to Brian Kelly is that he had a heart bigger than his body. He had a huge heart and played tough, and what a wonderful tribute to become part of the Wall of Fame here in Edmonton.
Brian Kelly, one of the greats in the Canadian Football League, and he is now on the Eskimo Wall of Fame. The Eskimos continue their greatness at their home stadium here at Commonwealth. They lead the Ottawa Rough Riders 35-10 at halftime.
Now you can get Radio Shack's TAD 325 telephone answerer for only $149.95. For $149.95. $149.95. He did it again. Radio Shack. $149.95. Remote control function, programmable security code, variable message length, and much, much more. And at $149.95, they won't last long.
Come, touch technology from Radio Shack.
Wow, I feel good.
There's a whole line of Gillette Foamy to give your special skin more shaving comfort. In an advanced moisturizing formula, sensitive skin formula, and cooling menthol. All to keep your face feeling good.
So good!
In high school, he showed promise. In college, he showed leadership. In his professional debut, he showed he was only human.
A few members of the Kelly clan, and there were thousands of Edmontonians who were honorary members of that clan for 9 great years when Brian Kelly caught passes for this team. You look like you could still play.
Well, thank you, Peter. I don't know if I'd want to still play, but hopefully I could.
You are in the car business here now. I know this is a great honor for you. I mean, I look around at all the great names up on that wall up there. To see number 70 up there, and deservingly so, must make you feel pretty good.
It sure is. Something like this in your hometown, it's something that's real nice. It's real special to me.
Is there a record that stands out that you're most proud of over the years?
No, not really. I mean, I enjoyed scoring touchdowns, but now it's kind of fun. But winning the Grey Cups was a lot of fun also.
And you're obviously enjoying watching this team perform this year. This is a pretty good football team, much in the tradition of the Eskimos, of which you were a part.
Yeah, they don't seem to have too many problems these days, I'll tell you. And today they're on their way to another win, it looks like. And I hope they win the Grey Cup and just keep the tradition going here in Edmonton.
Ryan, congratulations. Well-deserved. But 3 years from now, I guess you'd have to go to Hamilton to go to the CFL Hall of Fame. It'll be well-deserved when it comes time. Congratulations.
Thanks very much, Peter.
Ryan Kelly, great receiver with the Edmonton Eskimos. Second half kickoff coming up. Let's go to the broadcast booth. John?
Well, there's a lot of great Eskimo names up in the Wall of Fame here at Commonwealth. The Kepleys, Rolly Miles, and many, many more. Tom Wilkinson, what a quarterback he was. And moving along, Johnny Brights, one of the great fullbacks of all time in the CFL. Second half is underway. The Ottawa Rough Riders in difficulty against the Eskimos once more this afternoon as Tony Hunter returns it out to the 35 on the out-of-town scoreboard today. The Tiger Cats over the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, 29-21. And at the half, it's close. Taylor Field with the Argonauts out in front of Saskatchewan, 14-13. First down for the Eskimos, who lead it 35-10. Tracy Ham remains in at quarterback. And this is Reggie Taylor. Taylor gets out within a couple of yards of a first down.
You know, John, I thought with a 35-10 lead, they might start Rick Warman in the third quarter and give him a little playing time. I'm sure the situation remains the way it is. We will see Warman.
He also happens to be the player to go on the play.
Kind of hoping to see Steve Taylor this afternoon, too, number 10. He has the warm-up jacket off, at least. Perhaps he'll get a chance to take a couple of snaps in the Canadian Football League. Injured Ottawa Rough Rider down at the 42. Tough to pick out a number right now. We'll get that for you in just a second. Numbers till halftime, 302 yards total offense for the Eskimos. The turnovers, again, Leaf, a big story, hurting the Ottawa Rough Riders.
Well, last week we saw that game at the Sky Dome where 3 consecutive turnovers. The Toronto Argonauts capitalized with 3 touchdowns to really put that game out of reach, even though it was only the second quarter. This afternoon, pretty much the same thing. 3 touchdowns resulted directly in 3 Edmonton touchdowns, and that has been the story so far. There's Rick Warman. I would think we would see some action from him, but maybe they like to see what Steve Taylor can do. He may get the nod before Warman this afternoon.
Tracy Ham good on 9 of 17, 190 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception.
Well, pretty much the way he's been all season long. 51% passer on the season. That's about 9 of 17, and his 24 touchdowns now rank him 3rd on the list behind Sean Salisbury and Matt Dunnigan. But he has had a super year, and of course, a luxury that he has that so many quarterbacks don't have. He has that great running game, and he can go to that and not have to feel like he has to throw the football all the time. Tyrone Pope, well, he worked like heck in the offseason to come back from just a horrible ankle injury last season. And tough to speculate right now what the problem is with him, but I know he worked extremely hard to get back and play this year.
With Pope out, they'll have to shuffle that secondary a little bit with Kyle Hall moving into a safety spot. Flag is down.
Johnstone, the ball carrier.
It's Chris Johnstone carried on 2nd and 2.
Offside, Ottawa 35, first down.
Patrick Wayne offside, giving the Eskimos a first down on 2nd and 2. Tyrone Pope does not look like he's going to be back in this football game in a hurry.
And it looks like the ankle that they're working on.
Kyle Hall is filling in for Pope in the secondary. Big hit by Joe Samalo.
Taylor, the ball carrier, brought down by Samelo.
Now Reggie Taylor felt that one.
Gain of about 1. It'll be
I think it's really important for Ottawa, even though they trail by 25 points, to really take some pride in what they're doing out there and play as hard as they can in this second half, and just see what kind of results they can have. But they have to play as hard as they can. They can't let up.
Tracy Hand dragged down short of a first down by Gary Columbus, number 98.
Gary Columbus is one Ottawa Rough Rider lineman that's had a pretty good game today. Had a sack early and now chases down Tracy Ham from behind. And well, that's exactly what I'm talking about. You want to just try as hard as you can, even though the game may seem out of reach. You never know. That's the ankle of Tyrone Pope, the ankle he broke last year. And you can see actually the stitch marks there from the operation. And that is not a good sight. He worked so hard in the offseason to come back and was playing pretty well this year.
Third down, Jerry Corrick. Back near his 35. Pat Miller helped off now.
How can the trainers be wearing shorts today? I mean, do they not realize that it was below freezing here last night?
Lee Patterson, my partner, I got to tell you, he's got a scarf on, a parka, a sweater.
Sweater, yes. Scarf, no.
This is Pee Wee Thurman from the 32. Time for a good return. This could be it. Jerry Corrick, the only man to beat. Can Thurman? No. What about that? The kicker, Corrick, over to make a heck of a tackle.
Great job by Pee Wee Thurman on that punt. He found one little seam, and of course, so often, that's all the great punt returners need. He rambles 54 yards on this punt return, but I think some pretty good speed was shown by the kicker, Jerry Corrick, as he came over and, you know what, played a pretty good job at playing the angle here and did not let Pee Wee Thurman get to the outside. Nevertheless, great field position for Tony Kimbrough.
I talked to Tony Hunter before the game. He is leading the league in punt returns for the Eskimos. First down for the Ottawa Rough Riders as Alphen brings that one in. And Hunter has over 1,000 yards in punt returns this season. He has not taken one back for a touchdown, and 3 times this year he's been caught from behind by the kicker.
That is terrible. I mean, that is awful.
Well, it hurts the pride of a punt returner, I'm sure.
Do you think he takes a little razzing from the rest of the team when that happens?
Just a little bit.
I thought Carrick made a great play there, though.
He did. Orville Lee.
Danny Bass on the tackle to the outside. Danny Bass with 4 interceptions this season, ties his best year ever, which was 1985 with 4. He may break that own personal record. Only 59 tackles for Danny Bass this year, usually up around the league lead, and I think that really is it just shows the kind of balance on defense with Jeff Braswell and Larry Ruck playing well. Their whole linebacking core, pretty balanced group.
A loss of 2. This is 2nd and 12. Kimbrough over the middle, almost intercepted as a flag goes down.
Kimbrough passes to Ibrahim, coming on the play mark Mathis. There is a penalty flag on the play.
Initial indication offside against Ottawa.
One guy pointed this way.
No, it's offside.
Offside. Ottawa number 86 declined. 3rd down.
Gerald Alphen.
Well, I guess it really didn't matter. They didn't complete the pass anyway.
Our eagle eye spotter Robbie Allen had that one pegged, didn't he?
Not bad, eh? 1 for 40. That's a pretty good day.
Well, he's from Bishops.
Oh, don't hold that against him.
3rd down and 12 as the Rough Riders go gambling here, sending Alphen in. Alphen slips and couldn't react to the ball. Kimbrough is decked, and that will go as another turnover against the Ottawa Rough Riders. It is a long afternoon once more for Steve Goldman. It is 35-10. Edmonton leading Ottawa.
Motorola cellular phone on the...
Where you're from, it doesn't matter. What you wear, it doesn't matter. The way you move, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you cut your hair. It's what's inside that counts.
Introduce yourself to new Foster's Light.
It's what's inside that counts.
Welcome back to Commonwealth in Edmonton. The hometown Eskimos comfortably in front of the Ottawa Rough Riders on a sunny October afternoon. It is 35-10 early in the third quarter. Eskimos take over on downs and will begin inside the 15-yard line at the 14.
Full turnover on downs. It'll be first down, Eskimos. First and 10, the 14-yard line, Eskimos.
So as we do every week, we have the turning point this week brought to you by Remington.
The Remington Electroblade vibrating blade system. With high-speed motor and vibrating twin blades, glides so easily for incredibly close, smooth, comfortable shaves, or your money back. Remington Electroblade.
On first down, this is Reggie Taylor for the Eskimos. And Taylor gets the Eskimos out of a big hole with another first down. A 15-yard gain for Taylor.
Boy, is he ever an exciting guy to watch run the football. Well, I think so many people in CFL this year have become big fans of Reggie Taylor. And 1,000 yards, first time he's been able to do that in his CFL career. And only 5'6", 175 pounds, but he is some kind of running back and everything that the Edmonton Eskimos hoped he would be.
On first down, a little low. Intended for Keith Wrights at the far side.
Well, I thought Kyle Hall did a great job there. Initially, he went out in the flat with Blake Marshall, and when he read Tracy Ham where he was going in that hook, he left his man, came back, knocked the ball down. Bit of a frustrating year for Kyle Hall. He was originally the starting middle safety for the Ottawa Rough Riders. When they made the trade for Scott Flagel, he went to a backup capacity. He was not happy with it. I mean, understandably so, but now getting some playing time this afternoon.
Second and 10 for the Eskimos. And coming out of the backfield, Reggie Taylor.
So Reggie Taylor will be third down.
Was that a forward pass, or might that have been right along the line and a live ball there?
Well, kind of tells me it was forward pass. Nobody else chasing the ball around. Ottawa defense been funny this afternoon. In spots they have played so well, and then, of course, had that bad second half of the second quarter with all those turnovers. You know, we can look and say that the Ottawa defense is not the greatest defense, but boy, they have had a lot of pressure put on them this year with the offense stalling so many times.
Big charge on Corrick as he gets a high one away. Pee-wee Thurman at the 45. Good return last time. Let's see what Pee-wee can do here. Not quite as successful. Out to the 54.
Well, they will bring it back a little farther. The Ottawa Rough Riders with the illegal block, number 44, backup linebacker Robert Forrest. Absolutely hit an Edmonton punt cover in the back. I think they will bring that one back.
First and 10.
Well, they missed it. Bob, you got away with one.
He's sneaking to the sidelines now.
Yeah, well, they missed it.
You don't usually throw flags, Leaf.
No. Tough numbers for Tony Kimbrough today.
First down, Ottawa, as Kimbrough looks to the far side and is off target for Gerald Wilcox, number 87.
That's a tough pass to complete. You know, everybody thinks, well, it's a short pass out in the flat. That should be an easy one. You should hit that one all the time. But really have no angle to throw to your receiver. And that time, Tony Kimbrough just did not connect. Only 4 of 23 on the afternoon. Not what he would have hoped.
Second and 10, Ottawa. The Rough Riders at the 53. Orville Lee on the drop, and he's halfway to a first.
Orville Lee, the ball carrier, brought down by Jeff Brown.
Well, it's as simple as this. You're 2nd and 10 all afternoon against this defense. It's just too tough to operate from. Well, 2nd and 10, the draw play. They had success one time this afternoon with Orville Lee, a 22-yard pickup, but this time number 30, Danny Bass, the veteran. Pretty good block by Brad Tierney, the right guard, but still Danny Bass was able to plug up the hole.
Good kick by Schimmer for Tony Hunter, and he'll retreat to give up a single points. It goes for a long single. The Eskimos' lead is not in danger, with Edmonton out in front of the Ottawa Rough Riders, 35-11. A timeouts at Commonwealth.
(1945), a proud and happy time as North America celebrates the end of World War II and the beginning of 2 decades of peace. Now, Atlantis Direct Marketing presents Homecoming 1945, a collection of 45 original hits.
Grab your coat. Don't forget your hat.
I'm gonna buy a paper doll.
Tangerine.
I got a gal in Kalamazoo.
Remember the jubilation of a generation with Homecoming 1945. 45 original hits. Here's how to order yours.
COD and credit card customers call toll-free 1-800-543-1005 or rush $24.95, $29.95 for CD plus $4 shipping and handling to Homecoming 1945, P.O. Box 600, TSN, Station R, Toronto, Ontario, M4G4E1. That's 1-800-543-1005.
Leif Tracy Ham remains at quarterback right now for the Eskimos. The lead is 35-11. And I don't know, I think at some point in time, maybe you take the heat off the Ottawa Rough Riders.
I'm really surprised that one of the other 2 quarterbacks, could it be Rick Warman, as you see there, number 15 on the back of his helmet, or Steve Taylor, who has not played yet this year for the Eskimos. I am surprised, quite frankly, that neither one of these 2 quarterbacks has come into the football game. Left almost halfway through the 3rd quarter.
The Eskimos lead by 24. It is a first down. Edmonton at the 35. Ham, the quarterback. The handoff is to Taylor, and Taylor finds another big hole. He has another first down out across midfield.
Reggie Taylor, the ball carrier, 24 yards.
Patrick Wayne leading the Ottawa tacklers.
Well, I think at this point we have to acknowledge an offensive line that's done a super job for Edmonton Eskimos this year. There's Holmes. They get just enough of a block on him to spring Reggie Taylor through. That was Marco Sincar with the block, but Heck Potier, Blake Dermott, Pierre Vercheville, Randy Ambrosi, and Rod Conop, the 5 offensive linemen for the Eskimos, just done a super job opening holes for Reggie Taylor and allowing him to be the CFL's leading rusher this year.
Flag down, could be holding against Edmonton as Ham escapes to the far side. He's a couple, like a 3 yards short of a first down.
That's why Tracy Ham should not be still in the ballgame.
Is there a flag down out of bounds over there?
Oh, no question about it. Daniel Hunter took a cheap shot at him. There's no question. I mean, let's not hide it. He took a cheap shot at Tracy Ham out of bounds, and I would think he will be a marked man for the rest of this game. You're going to see the holding call first on Joe Salo as he had a good shot. And that wasn't Joe Samalo, actually. It was Mitchell Young, but Tracy Ham, watch now. Pat Miller will force him out of bounds, and number 27, Daniel Hunter, will let it run just a little further. There's the shot in the back.
Holding, Edmonton number 57. Unnecessary roughness, Ottawa 27. First down.
Yeah, you got to call that. That's not a good idea to hit the quarterback out of bounds.
First and 10 Eskimos from the 46-yard line of the Rough Riders.
Translates to another first down for the Eskimos at the 51. Time for Ham, looking deep. Sincar wide open. It's a walk to the end zone. Marco's first touchdown of the year.
Well, he had to wait 15 games, but finally got one. You know, we led off the opening of our show this afternoon, John, by talking about the great depth of the Edmonton Eskimos and how Craig Ellis, their leading receiver, was out of the lineup, but they had the luxury of bringing in Marco Sincar, a 10-year veteran, to replace him. And look at the move he makes on the double coverage. Patrick Wayne, the linebacker, cannot run with him. 46-yard touchdown, his first of 1989, and I know Marco Sincar is a pretty happy man right now.
There goes that fire truck again.
Shoot the tires off that thing.
Gorick, perfect in converts so far this season. And that truck will be heading for its 10,000-mile tune-up in 1989.
Marco Sincar began his career with the Edmonton Eskimos, was kind of on loan to Hamilton in 1980, the year we went to the Grey Cup back in 80. Marco, a teammate of mine in those years, played for Hamilton that year and then went back to Edmonton. So 9 of his 10 years with the Eskimos, the one single year in 1980 to Hamilton. He is a happy guy.
He was on loan to the Tiger Cats for all intents and purposes that year, was he not?
No question about it. He was on loan. Jerry Corick has had a bit of a groin problem this year, and that's why Marco Sincar is doing the kickoff duties this afternoon.
Rough Riders let it bounce out as it trickles out in front of Robert Reed.
See, Marco's not worried about those kickoffs anymore now. He says, I'm back to being a receiver on this team. Heck with the kickoffs. Kind of shanked that one.
Well, we're going to see Steve Taylor, I think. He's warming up on the sidelines.
Edmonton will kick it again, this time from the 30-yard line.
Number 10 is Steve Taylor, listed as the third-string quarterback here for the Eskimos this afternoon, and a second-string wide receiver. Cornelius Reddick should have let it bounce. He actually caught it out of bounds, did he not?
Well, if he did,
well,
kick over
step
again.
up.
Well,
It'll be first and 10 Ottawa.
mental error.
34-yard line.
The latest Eskimo scoring drive, covering 75 yards in just 2 plays. The 46-yard capper, a touchdown to Marco Sincar. Tony Kimbrough. Bash to the turf. Stu Hill has his first sack of the afternoon. The Eskimos' first sack of the afternoon, and for Hill, that's number 11 of the season.
Yeah, he's a popular guy here in Edmonton, Marco Sincar. Good team guy, even though he's not had a lot of playing time this year. Very frustrating, I know, for him. I know everybody on that sideline is extremely happy that he's been able to get his first touchdown.
Second and a bunch for Kimbrough and the Ottawa Rough Riders. Fired into traffic. And Reddick could not hang on.
Kimbrough's pass. Cornelius Reddick was
Good job by Mark Norman, number 23, the middle safety. And well, that's all they ask, primarily of the middle safety here in Edmonton, is to go back and play a deep center field and help out the corners on the posts and the inside halfbacks on the post batter. Mark Norman came through with the knockdown there, and he is the perfect safety in this scheme of things for the Edmonton Eskimos.
Tom Schimmer had a 68-yarder on his last one. This is pretty good as well, as Hunter fields it at the 45 and gets out to the 50. Kyle Hall is there to lead the Ottawa Rough Rider tacklers. And with 6:22 to play in the third quarter, the Edmonton Eskimos are comfortably in front of the Ottawa Rough Riders. It's 42-11 at Commonwealth.
With low back pain, every step shoots pain up here. Know what helps? Clinically proven Back Guard, a shoe insert. Watch how it absorbs foot shock to relieve low back pain. Amazing. Something down here can help up here. New Back Guard from Dr. Scholl's.
You want to watch your favorite hockey players, past and present, Guys like Chris Chelios, Al McInnes, Doug Gilmore, Red Story, Red Kelly. Watch Don Cherry's Grapevine on your favorite sports network, TSN.
And tomorrow on the Sports Network, the Caps and the Canadiens. Live from the Forum, 7:30 Eastern on TSN.
And I want Dino Cicerelli and Matt Snaslin to both have good nights because I have them in my pool.
Well, I hope they're listening, Leeper.
Ticket holders is Saturday, October the 28th. Eskimo season ticket holders must
enter Steve Taylor to quarterback the Eskimos.
All-American at the University of Nebraska, where they did not throw the football a great deal.
Now, they put the option into this Eskimo offense for Taylor, no?
Well, they have it in there for Tracy Ham, I know that. But Steve Taylor, the third quarterback in the scheme of things for the Eskimos this year, and I know the coaching staff, Hugh Campbell, the general manager, Bruce Lemmerman, the player personnel director, they are all very eager to see how young Steve Taylor will perform this afternoon. Only a 45% career passer at the University of Nebraska. Pretty shifty guy, good runner, pretty good arm, good leader.
We'll see what he can do with an Eskimos 1st and 10 at the 50. He likes to run, that's obvious.
Hey, what never fails with a young quarterback in their initial starts. When they feel comfortable running the football, that's what they do 9 times out of 10. Some of the better looking people.
It'll be second down, 5 yards to go from midfield.
It'll be 2nd and 5 for the Eskimos right at midfield. Steve Taylor from Nebraska gets his first shot at running the Eskimo offense.
A couple of good close friends of John Wells showed up in the stands this afternoon.
Taylor slightly behind the intended receiver at the 50.
Steve Taylor's pass is completed.
Sincar, rather, number 27.
Well, there you really see a young quarterback mistake. You know, Taylor really didn't have pressure there on him. Had lots of time to throw the football. Sincar was open, but just kind of rushed it and hurried it, and understandably so. I mean, it's his first start. He's obviously a little nervous, and Pop Sparagelli, as they affectionately call him here in Edmonton, will have a nice chat with him, settle him down, and I'm sure you'll see better things in his second possession as quarterback of the Eskimos.
Meantime, enter Jerry Korick on 3rd down. Pee Wee Thurman, no chance for a return as it trickles out near the 25.
Now, Jerry said, now listen, I'm going to start kicking it out of bounds because I don't want to be the one to have to make the tackles.
31 yards, bouncing out of bounds at the 24-yard line, no return. 1st and 10, Ottawa at the Ottawa 24. John Chapka.
There's Steve Taylor, Tracy Ham, I'm sure passing on a few little tricks to him or things that he might look for when he gets back in.
Orville Lee, looking a little more like the Orville Lee of 1988. Gain of 7.
Boy, that's what they needed in the first half. Some of those running plays on 1st down to get into 2nd and 3. Now you've got a chance against this tough defense. A few different options you can use. 2nd and 10 is a real killer all the time.
Lee again, and this time he converts for a 1st down out at the 40. Leroy Blue. Bishops makes the stop.
Down covered by Leroy Blue. 1st down, 10 yards to go. Ottawa from the Ottawa 40.
4:27 to play, 3rd quarter. It is the Eskimos in front, 42-11 on the Ottawa Rough Riders. The far side and almost picked off by Andre Francis. Cornelius Reddick was the intended receiver, number 8.
Knocked down by Andre Francis.
Old Andre Francis, pretty cagey out there in the corner. He read the pattern so quickly. Absolutely super speed and quickness as he breaks on the football. Already has 1 interception this afternoon. And boy, he, of course, was part of that huge trade that saw Matt Dunnigan go to the BC Lions, and Greg Stuman, Jeff Braswell, Andre Francis, Leroy Blue was the draft choice. Who'd I miss there? One other one? Reggie Taylor.
You got it. Kimbrough pumps once, now looks long for Ray McDonald.
Kimbrough's pass to Ray McDonald goes incomplete. Don.
Tony Kimbrough has not had a big day.
It'll be 3rd down. 10
He has completed 5 of 26 for 120 yards.
Well, I think, too, in his defense, if anyone saw our CFL report show preceding the game this afternoon. Tony Kimbrough said that under the normal circumstances, he wouldn't have played this afternoon with the bad ankle. Of course, with the injuries to Damon Allen and Willie Gillis, he had to play, but he is not 100% healthy himself.
This is Hunter on the return. Moving in on a CFL punt record, a punt return record, but he won't get credit for those yards. As Mike Hildebrand should be charged with punting back near the 40.
Where he's knocked down by Patrick Wayne. There is a penalty flag on the play.
Tony Hunter, extremely exciting when he catches the football, and of course has that great chance for the record. There you could see the penalty just at the top of your screen.
It'll be first down, Eskimos. The Eskimo 31-yard line.
Penalty takes the Eskimos back to the 31 with a first down. Tony Hunter, 103 yards shy of a CFL milestone. The Eskimos. And Steve Taylor at quarterback. No catch.
Walter Murray made the nice catch, but couldn't keep those feet in bounds. Much better pass by Steve Taylor. You're going to get a good look at him as they pull the guard, Pierre Bercheval, as a personal protector on the rollout. He sets up, steps up, good protection that time, and that's a good throw. Unfortunately, Walter Murray could not keep the feet in bounds.
Second and 10, Eskimos at the 31. Taylor will put it up once more. Or will he? Sacked. Back near the 10.
That's a good job by Patrick Wayne on the blitz from the outside. He just kept that outside lane, and boy, when Steve Taylor spun to try and get back and do some scrambling to the outside, no room for him to run. Good coverage downfield. Forced that sack. There you see Patrick Wayne. Watch, Taylor's going to turn back to the outside again, and Patrick Wayne, good pursuit from the outside. Little help from Lloyd Lewis up the middle. Patrick Wayne, a young Canadian linebacker in his third year from the Richmond Raider Juniors. His first full season as a starting outside linebacker for Ottawa.
Here's Jerry Korek back right on his goal line. Good charge by the Ottawa team. And here's Pee Wee Thurman on the return. Nice opening for Thurman, who streaks down the sidelines.
No!
And is stopped at the 1.
Not again.
36 yards, 1 yard short.
Oh, my. Pee Wee is going to wake up tonight around 4 in the morning, and he's going to have nightmares of number 4 from the Edmonton Eskimos. Nice job setting that wall up to the outside. Good hustle by Ottawa. Boy, that's the thing you have to be impressed of. 42-11 here in the third quarter, and they're still really working hard on the special teams. Tyrone Pope with the block. I mean, he couldn't even hold him and get away with it. Jerry Korek with his second big tackle of the day.
First and goal to go, Rough Riders at the 2. Orville Lee nowhere near the goal line. He lost the ball, too. The Eskimos have recovered. Your pal, the Toaster Leaf.
Yeah, he squashed that thing. Watch this good shot to see the action as Orville Lee tries to go up over the top. He is met. The ball comes loose, and the Toaster, what does he call himself, Bobby Layden? Mr. Outrageous or something now when he wrestles?
Humongous.
Humongous.
Yeah.
There he is. What a personable guy he is. We always enjoy any game we do with Edmonton to have a chat with Brett Williams. Always a strong opinion on what's going on in the CFL these days. And Orville Lee, the struggle continues.
Yeah. For the Ottawa Rough Riders, a chance at the 2, and they can't convert it into points. On the other hand, the Eskimos come roaring right out of deep in their zone, and a carry by Chris Johnstone is close to a first down.
Picks up 9 yards, he'll be second down.
Johnstone close to 9 yards. Eskimos recovering on the 1. My gosh, the turnovers now at 6-2.
Tells a huge story about this game, or any game for that matter. Usually turnovers the deciding factor.
Chris Johnstone converts to a first down with 36 seconds left on the clock in the third quarter.
Eskimos do a great job on short yardage with the fellows they bring in Mandridge, Stu Hill, and sometimes the toaster, Brett Williams, and with that extra blocking power up front. Can't remember when they've been stopped on a third down this year on short yardage.
Steve Taylor remains in at quarterback for the Eskimos. To the far side for Murray. His first catch.
Boy, you could see that one coming from up here in the press box, John. 3 receivers to the wide side of the field and just 1 back to the short side. And, well, you know, 99 times out of 100, you're going to get one-on-one coverage and a little hitch pass. Good safe pass, an easy one for Steve Taylor to complete. Get some confidence. That's a nice call, whoever made it.
9 yards to gain. This will be 2nd and 1, and Taylor has moved the team rather effectively from the 1-yard line.
Well, I mean, for a young quarterback, it's pretty nice offense to come in and run.
Taylor will carry himself, and he pitches out on the option. Mike Souls was lucky to hang on to the ball. It will be a first down for the Eskimos as the third quarter comes to an end. Edmonton out in front of the Ottawa Rough Riders. It's 42-11 at Commonwealth.
Christine Conapata. She receives a trip for 2 to Las Vegas.
McCain Super Fries, deep fried flavor and crispness from your oven. For the strong, silent type.
Some have let life get complicated. Others will never let life get that way. GWG.
PGA excitement, the Tour of '89, and there's been some outstanding action. April, Augusta, Georgia. Nick Faldo captures the Masters. June, Rochester, New York. Curtis Strange grabs his 2nd U.S. Open. July, the Royal Troon in Scotland. Mark Calcavecchia steals the British Open. August, Payne Stewart wins the $1 million PGA Championship. And the excitement continues at the $2.5 million Nabisco Championship. Daily coverage begins October 26 only on TSN.
Well, another one of those long afternoons for head coach Steve Goldman and the Ottawa Rough Riders. 42-11, the Eskimos out in front. Edmonton with a first down as the fourth quarter gets underway. Edmonton with a new quarterback in. This is Steve Taylor, and he's on target for Keith Wright. Another Edmonton first down out near the 40.
John, that was a good throw. Steve Taylor on the run, throwing from his good side, rolling out as a right-handed quarterback would normally be his good side, the right side, and he threw a strike to Keith Wright, number 71. There's Keith Wright, one-on-one with Daniel Hunter. Watch the push-off there, and he gets away with it, comes back to the quarterback, and a good throw by Steve Taylor.
1st and 10. The Eskimos out at the 40. This is Reggie Taylor. Taylor was tackled by Hunter, but Hunter gave him an extra couple of yards before he could bring him down.
Brought down by number 76.
Momentum from the tackle carried Reggie Taylor ahead for a couple. He's about a half yard short of the first down.
138 yards this afternoon for Reggie Taylor, and a play you just don't see that much in the Canadian Football League anymore. That guard comes flying around the corner. That case number 57, Randy Ambrosi. And boy, it's a pretty sight to see the big horses coming around the corner, and the little guy Reggie Taylor snugged in behind him, picking up some good yardage. Throw the ball to the toaster here on short yardage. I'd like to see that.
Second, less than a yard to go. And Taylor, it's Steve Taylor keeping himself. And it is another Eskimo first down out across the 50.
They saved that pass to the toaster for just down on the goal line so he can
score the 6.
Score the 6.
After 3 quarters, 426 total yards for the Eskimos. That translates to 392 nets. 6 turnovers. The first 3 turnovers cost the Ottawa Rough Riders touchdowns. First down, Edmonton. This is Steve Taylor at quarterback. It opens up. And Taylor close to a first down. He might even have it.
Taylor, the ball carrier, pushed by
It is a first down for the Eskimos.
The good thing is he is a tremendous runner and got good quick feet out in the open field. He sets up as long as he can. You know, he's not too jumpy back in there. The bad thing, he's got to tuck that ball away. Look at the way he throws that thing out there.
Just what the Eskimos need is another good running quarterback.
Boy, it seems like every time you turn around, they have somebody waiting in the wings that's got some great ability.
The pitch to Taylor, and this play is not going anywhere. Fumble. Turnover going the other way. As the Ottawa Rough Riders come up with one. Joe Cimello, number 74.
Taylor fumbles the ball. Cimello picks it up.
The hit by Lloyd Lewis, number 76, and as Reggie Taylor spins around, he's hit again by Patrick Wayne. He pops the ball loose. Joe Cimello has it. Could not outdistance Michael Souls, however. So the Rough Riders get a turnover. Joe Cimello, he has had himself a pretty good afternoon.
First and 10, Ottawa. Inside the 40. This is Orville Lee for 3, maybe 4.
Orville Lee, the ball carrier, picked up a couple before it was met by John Anders and Mark Mathis.
Well, there's Joe Cimello.
Second down, 8 yards to go. 35-yard line.
At the 35, 2nd and 7. And Kimbrough's pass is tipped by Jeff Braswell.
Kimbrough's pass tipped
number
by
44.
Braswell, intended for number 22, Orville Lee.
I haven't talked too much about Jeff Braswell this afternoon. He had one good hit earlier, and now the tip ball. But
from the media center west side, Don Stein.
Part of that BC Lion defense, helping the Eskimos this year.
See, now I know you didn't like that trade. Now,
well, I'm starting to hate it. I'm starting to hate it even more after the Lions and their defense decimated, give up 50 points last night on a 3rd down gamble. Ottawa converting to a first down as Alphen makes the catch.
Well, I still thought it was a good trade. Without Matt Dunnigan, they would not have gone to the Grey Cup last year.
But look who they gave up. They gave up 3 All-Stars.
First and 10, Ottawa.
Plus Reggie Taylor.
21-yard line.
Plus a draft pick, which
now, Reggie Taylor was not a starter there anyway. Tony Cherry was, and probably Tony Cherry still would have been this year had Reggie Taylor been there. So that one you can throw right out the window.
All right, but there's Braswell.
Hey, listen, I don't...
And there's Francis.
I don't argue with that.
Stuman.
They gave up a lot of good guys on defense, but it was a trade that they needed a quarterback desperately. They got probably one of the best that we've seen in a number of years in Matt Dunnigan. Heck, you know, hey, you got to give up something to get something.
I still think the Lions were robbed.
Second down, 9 yards to go.
Well, Reggie Taylor has
outrushed Ottawa.
Yep.
2nd and 8. Almost intercepted down at the 1. To Stanley Blair with a shot at the interception and a pass to Ray McDonald. Kimbrough decked.
It'll be 3rd down, 10 yards to go.
He's playing on a tender ankle anyway.
Now he was hurt coming in, and we're going to go back and have a look at how he takes the hit. You know, he steps up, and all the Ottawa quarterbacks have taken a lot of hits this year. Stuart Hill right there, the helmet up into the rib area. The Ottawa offensive line, of course, the worst in the league at protecting the quarterback this year. Coming into this game, 53 quarterback sacks against, and Boy, in all the games that we've done this year, Damon Allen sure took a lot of hits, stepping up and delivering the football. Tony Kimbrough took one there. There's Kenny Hobart, number 3, and of course he would come into the game if Tony Kimbrough were not able to continue.
Kimbrough being attended to by the medical staff of the Ottawa Rough Riders. 10-12 to play in the final quarter at Commonwealth.
Okay, Wellesley, now, I mean, you lived here in Edmonton. You're a huge Edmonton Eskimo fan. You always have been. I'll give you a little quiz here just to test your loyalty and your memory. Reggie Taylor, of course, has 1,000 yards rushing for the Eskimos this year. Who was the last Edmonton Eskimo to have 1,000 yards rushing?
Germany.
Oh, the bells will ring. That's right.
Jim
Good
Germany.
for you. Good for you. 1979 was the year. 1,324 yards for Jim Germany.
He was an underrated running back in his days in Canadian football. He was around for a lot of the Grey Cups that the Eskimos won.
I thought he was a great one. I'm impressed, John. That's good.
I'm not impressed by this. How's this for cheap? From Robbie Allen, a neatly printed note. Happy birthday, Mom. This is happy birthday to Marion Allen in Kingsville, Ontario. She is 67 years old today. Happy birthday, Mom. We're just a little disappointed that your son Rob did not go out and spend $1.50 and send a card.
Robbie, I can lend you the $1.50 if you need it.
10 minutes and 12 seconds to go. Kimbrough is up, but he'll have to head to the sidelines for a bit as the Ottawa Rough Riders trail the Eskimos 42-11.
You're looking sharp. You're looking good. You've come so far, and we know how to make the most of who you are. Where the race is run, you're the champion. Gillette,
The Gillette Atra Plus system and Gillette Foamy Shave Cream, together the best a man can get.
Celebrating 75th.
Well, Tony, yeah, he looks like he's probably all right as he explains to Robert Reed exactly what happened. And what happened was Stuart Hill, a great defensive end, at 6'1", 240 pounds, ran over him. Hurt anybody.
The Eskimo trainer, Tom Pond, is going to his last year as a 50-year-old, and everybody associated with the football club, which is him a happy number 50.
It is third down and a bunch for Ottawa. 3rd and 9.
Kenny Hobart, of course, comes into the football game as Tony Kimbrough is on the sidelines with that injury. Kenny Hobart, more famous for his rushing than throwing in the 3 years he spent with the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Didn't he lead the league in rushing one year, a couple of years back?
I believe so. 928 yards in 1985, which established a record for quarterbacks rushing the football.
Well, he loses yards on his first play as an Ottawa Rough Rider. Stu Hill came crashing through in his second sack of the day, 12th of the season.
Boy, when you look at that defense in the front four, they are a pretty good group. Stu Hill, good pressure from the outside along with Greg Stoom, and then you got the good 2 bull rushers coming up the middle, Brett the Toaster Williams and, of course, John Mandridge, the veteran. Linebackers, no weakness there. Secondary, no weakness. Boy, you look at this team and you try and say, how can we dissect this defense? I don't know if it's possible.
First down for the Eskimos. On the turnover from the 26. Steve Taylor hands off to Reggie Taylor. And Sumalo has that one read pretty well. The Edmonton Eskimos, how good are they, Leaf? They lead the league in 18 of 35 offensive categories. They also lead the league in 22 of 25 defensive categories. So totaling that all up, the Eskimos lead the league in 40 of 60 statistical categories.
Scary.
Frightening, absolutely. The mastermind is Joe Farragelli. The Eskimos are 2nd and 10 at the 26. Pretty nice catch by Keith Wright.
Taylor passing to right complete.
That was a great catch. Great catch. Good throw by Steve Taylor. He had to put it into a spot where there was an open area and expect and hope that Keith Wright could get there and make the good catch. And Keith Wright has developed nicely for the Eskimos this year. Initially began a season on the practice roster, and they said, well, it's time to give this guy his shot. He took advantage of it. made some good catches, and Steve Taylor in his debut this afternoon throwing some pretty good footballs.
1st and 10 Eskimos at the 40. This is Taylor, looks long for Murray, and a flag has to come down. In fact, 2 do.
Taylor passing incomplete to Murray.
Flags on Daniel Hunter, number 27, who says, no, that wasn't me.
Well, it so often happens, you know, the ball was underthrown, and Walter Murray tries to cut back underneath and adjust to it. Daniel Hunter won't let him. So the contact occurs, the holding, and that's a good call. I mean, it's unfortunate. It was not a great pass, and there Murray tries to cut back, and Daniel Hunter puts the hold on him and gets nailed for the interference call.
It's a 44-yard gain for the Eskimos.
He's still shaking his head. Daniel says, no way. Man, I mean, I did not. He hit me. Penalties, Edmonton. Used to be always a real penalty-free team. This year, they lead the league in penalty yardage against. It's very uncharacteristic for them.
Sumalo injured again. Looks like he'll be back. 8:23 to play in the final quarter, with the Eskimos in front of the Ottawa Rough Riders, 42-11. Eskimos on the verge of their 13th win of the season in week 15. This is Reggie Taylor on the drop. Well executed by the quarterback, Steve Taylor. Safety Flagel made the stop.
He's a fun guy to watch. You know, only 5'6", 175 pounds. Reggie Taylor with a pretty big heart out there. And had just a super year. The last piece in the puzzle, really, for the Edmonton Eskimo offense. The game breaker, breakaway threat that they've been looking for.
Second and 2. And that is converted easily by Blake Marshall, who's inside the 5. Big, powerful fullback, Blake Marshall.
Well, you know, he's 6'1", 230 pounds, a bruising fullback, true-style fullback runner, straight up the middle, and boy, he just runs over some people. Hopper is along for the ride. He's along for about a 5-yard carry there. Blake Marshall finally getting a chance to start in this Edmonton lineup.
First down, goal to go. The Eskimos at the Ottawa 4. Marshall, and he's down to about the 1. Seems like it's only a matter of time before the Eskimos get into the end zone once more.
They put a nice drive together, and real confidence builder for Steve Taylor, the young quarterback. And there you see Blake Marshall. Well, he was an All-Canadian at the University of Western Ontario in 1986, a first-round draft pick. Brother Greg was a first-round pick here, as also a fullback a few years before him. Brother Greg, bad knee injury in his career.
Second and goal from the 1. Taylor will throw right. Can't make the catch. That was coverage by Hunter, who redeems himself a little bit. Johnstone comes in. The Eskimos are still gunning for the touchdown.
Johnstone probably said, Steve, you just give it to me and I'll take care of the rest. Johnstone already with a couple of touchdowns this afternoon.
And he's in. The official call just a little late coming, but the Eskimos have another touchdown.
So Blake Marshall gets the touchdown and caps off the nice drive by Steve Taylor.
Is he really in, Leaf?
Well, let's have a look. We've got a great shot at it here.
I guess the second surge, and he's in.
Second touchdown of the afternoon for Blake Marshall.
Eskimos like to spread it around. Two for Marshall, 2 for Johnstone.
And I would think if they get the ball back, you're going to see Michael Souls in there for a little bit of work.
Here comes your fire truck again, Leaf. Get out the shotgun and you can shoot the tires off the front end of this.
That thing, I wish it would run out of gas.
49-11. Edmonton in front of Ottawa.
I'm tired of us Senators getting no recognition. I played 13 seasons in front of millions of fans, made All-Pro twice, and started in 3 Super Bowls. Yet no one knows who I am. Hey, even if I'm not well known, at least my beer is. Miller Lite. An All-Pro Senator doesn't drink light just because it tastes less filling. I want the one that tastes great. Let me get it.
Hey, aren't you Randy Cross?
Miller Lite. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
This November, the place to be is TSN. Sunday night, see pro football's finest in exclusive live NFL clashes. And there's fire on ice when the NHL battles for division supremacy. And NASCAR crowns their Winston Cup champion. November sees our CFL season finale. And a new season of NBA basketball tips off with terrific action. There's more tennis being served in golf's best battle at the Kapalua International. This November, the place to be is TSN.
The most significant GameStar awards are a regular feature against at the end of the game. Young fans are also invited to meet the stars during the game in the south end zone.
The Eskimos hardly need any more cheering with a lead of 49-11 on the Ottawa Rough Riders. After another touchdown, back for a Marco Sinkar kickoff. Pee-wee Thurman over the shoulder catch. He ran into Reddick back there. Let's see what Pee-wee can do. Only the 20-yard line on a pretty good kick by Sinkar, who forced the Ottawa kick returners deep into the Rough Rider zone. One more drive for the Eskimos. It covered 84 yards. And it finished off with a 1-yard rush by Blake Marshall. First down, Ottawa, with 5 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Orville Lee.
Orville Lee, the ball carrier, brought down by Stewart. Picked up a couple of these second down.
2 yards for Ottawa for Lee's carry. They expect to win at Commonwealth.
Boy, do they ever. This is a pretty cocky sports town, is it not, with the Oilers and the Eskimos? They do not understand defeat.
Orville Lee has had a better afternoon, but he's also had a tough afternoon.
Leroy Blue with the hit, of course, the much heralded rookie from Bishop's University, who was also part of that trade for Matt Dunnigan. He was the draft choice that Edmonton was able to use. He's getting a chance to play this afternoon. Rick Warman was also warming up on the sidelines, and I would not be surprised to see him come in for what may be the final series for Edmonton.
Well, the Eskimos will have great field position. Here's Hunter to the 45, and that's where Kyle Hall makes the stop. The Eskimos have Rick Warman coming in at quarterback with great field position at the 45 of the Ottawa Rough Riders. Edmonton in front, 49-11.
Scratch today's game score and play along with the pros in the Canadian Football League.
We've dramatically improved our on-time performance. We're now one of the top airlines in North America, and climbing. You're looking at the leading edge of a service revolution. We're committed to being the best airline this country has ever seen. Our world revolves around you.
Welcome back to Commonwealth in Edmonton. I don't know what that picture was supposed to show us.
Were you in that picture or something?
I don't think it was me.
No. We have got a good one next weekend, do we not? Taylor Field in Saskatchewan. Wow.
Stampeders in town. We'll be wearing the green and white shorts next Sunday afternoon.
I don't know. I've been on the Calgary bandwagon this year. This is tough. It's tough. I don't know who I'm going to be cheering for next week. The one thing I do know, it's going to be a great game. We will be there. Check your local listings, 3 p.m. Eastern.
I thought that was nice of the Rough Riders to send your statistics along in the mail the other day. Leif Pettersson, Courier, Saskatchewan. What year? 1971?
74 to 77. 4, 5, 6, and 7. Yeah. Numbers were not that impressive. But
no, when you were telling
why
me
did
how
they
many
send
catches?
that to me to remind me of that? I don't know. Kenny Hobart, if you missed it, has spent the last year in Idaho, where he owns a bar restaurant. He's been the bartender, the cook, the whole ball of wax. But now he's getting a chance, and pretty happy to be back playing professional football.
This is Rick Warman getting his chance for the Eskimos. Not much of a gain that time. Warman kept it along the ground for Chris Johnstone. Samalo's shaken up again. He's had a tough day.
He really has. You know, he's had the fumble recovery, a sack. But boy, the trainer has spent a lot of time coming out to have a look at him.
So do you want to reveal those numbers that they
I can't remember what they were. They were so staggering, it's hard for me to remember.
Some of us can't count that high.
That's more or less what I was intimating.
4:16 to play at Commonwealth in Edmonton. Marco Sincar, who has a touchdown this afternoon.
Run the ball at first down.
Eskimos have a bunch of touchdowns today. It's 49-11. It's the third time that Joe has been helped to the sidelines.
He's needed a fair bit of assistance today.
It'll be 2nd and 10 for Rick Warman and the Eskimos at the 45. Warman back to throw, and he is smothered for a big loss.
Bob Forrest comes into the game and gets a little playing time, number 44. Backup linebacker for the Ottawa Rough Riders. Carleton University, hometown product. You see 5 sacks today. Kind of unusual that the Edmonton Eskimos give up that many sacks.
Third down with 18 yards to go.
3:49 to play. Final quarter. Jerry Kurick will step across his 45 to get this kick away to Pee Wee Thurman. Pee Wee's had a good day in kick returns. On punt returns so far, 164 yards. He'll add to that total right here. Flag is down as Thurman finds room along the sidelines. He's out to the 40. But I think they'll drag it back a ways.
I would think so. That's a tough break. Pee Wee Thurman really trying hard in all those punt returns. And pretty exciting moves when he gets to the outside in a little open area. Unfortunately, it will come back.
Hobart and Goldman in conversation at the Ottawa bench.
Well, Kenny Hobart comes in for his 2nd series. Came in, of course, the first time when Tony Kimbrough was injured. Had a couple of practices Thursday and Friday to try and get ready for this game. Does not know a lot of the offense. In fact, I think if we can see his left wrist, most of the plays are taped to it.
Orville Lee. Brett Williams, number 91. Met Lee after a gain of a yard. 3-minute warning at Commonwealth. with the Eskimos comfortably in front of the Ottawa Rough Riders. It is 49-11 with 2:59 to play.
Developments in pain relief don't come along every day, but each one can change the way we deal with pain. Now in Canada, there's Advil, a different kind of pain reliever. Advil has the strength to deliver really effective pain relief. In fact, one is often enough. And with Advil, there's little chance of stomach upset. Ask your pharmacist now for Advil, a different kind of pain reliever.
Back live at Commonwealth for our TSN Game of the Week.
That's not Danny Kempley, is it?
No, I wouldn't say that. Kempley has ears everywhere in this town. He'll know you said that.
On Friday, November the 3rd, the final 1989 Eskimo football luncheon of the season at Esmeralda's in the Edmonton Inn. $9 a ticket at the door. Proceeds in support of the Edmonton Cosmopolitan.
He doesn't scare me, Kempley.
No, you have to have a glass partition.
I've got a glass window right here.
And then on Sunday, October 29th, they'll be on the road against the BC Lions. Both games on 1260 CFR radio, a half hour before kickoff. And both games are televised by the Canadian Football Network and carried on ITV. And be sure to catch the Molson's Canadian Game Star presentation and the end zone autograph section.
2:59 to play. The Eskimos with a comfortable lead on the poor Ottawa Rough Riders, who have had nothing but hard luck again here this afternoon.
There's Pee-wee. He's got his name on his towel, so he'll know it's his, I guess. I don't know.
So he'll know his nickname.
Sure. Better get on that one.
Could be a lateral, yes.
Kenny Hobart's pass goes incomplete to David Conrad. It'll be third down. 8 yards to go.
Looking at Pee-wee Thurman, he's been stopped a couple of times by the kicker when he had a sure shot at a touchdown on a punt return. Once at the 1-yard line, and although the game was really out of reach for Ottawa, just indicative of the afternoon that the Rough Riders have had, they fumbled the ball on the next play and never got a touchdown.
Yep.
First and goal to go from the 2.
Tough day. Pee-wee's been hustling, though.
Don Wilson is the injured Eskimo.
Boy, he has played well in 1989. 4 interceptions, had the touchdown today to get the game started on the block punt. Of course, Mark Mathis blocked it. Wilson recovered it, took it in for the touchdown.
The Eskimos on the verge of their 13th win in 15 weeks. Top spot in the West is all locked up for Edmonton. And the Eskimos are always tough on home turf at Commonwealth Stadium. They will host the Western Final. Presumably Calgary or Saskatchewan will be the team here to challenge on that Sunday afternoon.
John, they have a chance to have an undefeated season at home this year. They moved their record to 8-0 at Commonwealth, and with 1 home game remaining, you know they would like to see that unblemished record stay intact. Crowd slowly thinning out here as this game is well in hand, 49-11.
30,920 on hand at Commonwealth today.
Tough draw on a cold afternoon here at Edmonton. Ottawa coming in with only 2 wins. Chilly day.
I thought it was quite a lovely afternoon here, Leif. It was 3 degrees. Skies are clear. Sunny afternoon.
Surprise.
Winds are moderate.
Shocking that you don't want to stay and maybe play some golf here tomorrow or something.
For the tough folks of Western Canada, this is a lovely day. For some who've grown up in the East and needed parkas in July.
That's right.
Might be a little chilly. How did you ever survive those years in Saskatchewan? When did you put on the long johns? July 15th?
Labor Day weekend, usually. The starter. I was lucky in the 4 years in Saskatchewan. Never really had a cold fall. Well, the hurts keep mounting up for the Ottawa Rough Riders. Kyle Hall now, the injured player. And, Boy, I'll tell you, we did that game at the Sky Dome last week with the Argonauts and the Ottawa Rough Riders. There were so many Ottawa players going. I mean, I thought a sniper was loose in the stands. I mean, every play, the player was down.
Well, they've certainly had their share of injuries, the Rough Riders in particular this season. Wilson being treated at the Eskimo bench.
You don't want to lose him. He is a very valuable member of that secondary. No question in my mind, having an all-star year once again in the Western Conference.
There's a hearty band of Westerners down there just in sweaters. And here you sit, a football player, bundled up with your parka on, done up to your neck, and your scarf. And you're indoors. We've got the heaters on in the broadcast location here. And 35 seconds remaining in the final quarter, set to get play. Resumed once more. Eskimos with the first down at the Rough Rider 41. Rick Warman remaining at quarterback. This is Michael Souls out of the backfield, and he struggles. Should have a first down late. Stopped by Tyrone Pope.
Eskimos really happy to get Mike Souls in the 1989 college draft this year. Every time I see Michael Souls play, I just remember back to the Vanier Cup game he had in 1987 when he was the star running back for the McGill Redmen. He had 203 yards, 25 carries in that big win that they had. Upset the UBC Thunderbirds that year.
Blake Marshall. Rather, Michael Souls, number 32. Marshall is 22.
That's tough, 32, 22.
Daniel Hunter puts him on inbounds. He'll be first again, Eskimo.
Well, I know with 2:05 remaining, Bobby Layton's still excited about this game. Michael Souls, great draft pick. You know, they're going to bring him along slowly, just as they did Greg Marshall, just as they did Chris Skinner, and he will be a good one.
Good fake by Warman, who now looks long. Tipped away by Hunter. Walter Murray had a shot and bringing it in, but Daniel Hunter tipped it away. (49-11). The Eskimos leading the Ottawa Rough Riders. Eskimos working on their third quarterback, and he'd like to get some points into the end zone himself. Warman looks here, and Wright has it tipped away. Brett Young tipping it away.
Brett Young made a nice play, and of course Rick Warman had to let that ball go before he really wanted to, with the pressure coming up the middle, and now with third down they will try and make a decision what they want to do. They do not want to humiliate the Rough Riders any longer. Still, they will bring Jerry Corrick into the game. Come into the afternoon, the league leader in points.
37-yard field goal try for Jerry Corrick. A minute 35 to go. And that gets the Eskimos over the 50 mark.
37-yard field goal is good. Another tire down ball into the end zone for high school football.
Jerry Corrick's had a busy day. He had to make a couple of tackles. Kick some field goals, 52-11. Scoreboard says 55-11, but they're wrong.
I see 55-11 up there, and I thought they'd... well, it's the Eskimos' home park. Maybe they do get 5 points for a field goal here.
They did that to us in Toronto last week, too.
Well, you being a math major, it doesn't confuse you
as
much as it confuses me.
I had it figured out right away. I'll help you out. Don't worry about it.
Ball carrier. Brought down by Mike McLean.
Kenny Hobart has the record for touchdown passes in a Grey Cup game back in 1985 with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. They lost that game to the BC Lions, if you recall, but Kenny Hobart nevertheless threw 4 touchdowns in that game, which is still a Grey Cup record.
2nd and 5, Ottawa. Rough Riders at the 40. And I think Hobart might have been looking to Reddick, but Reddick was not looking back to Hobart.
The air came out of that ball in a hurry.
Third and 5. Steve Goldman and the Ottawa Rough Riders on the verge of losing their 13th game in 15 weeks. This is Tony Hunter with the team. Hunter half from behind. With 47 seconds to go, Orville Lee over to make the tackle. As Hunter closes in the CFL single-season punt return yardage record. 35-yard return.
Well, that's the thing, you know, when you think about that record, I mean, I think it's a tribute to the defense of the Edmonton Eskimos and how they shut down so many offenses. So many teams are punting the ball a great deal of the time that Tony Hunter gets a chance so many times a game to establish that kind of a record.
Good
now,
point.
If you're on a team like Ottawa, you know, you're never going to have a punt returner that's going to lead the league.
If people are scoring touchdowns, they're not punting on third down, right? Here's Warman. Tom Richards steps out, and he should have a first down. 40 seconds to go. It's 52-11.
Tom Richards with a nice touchdown early in the second quarter. Had himself a good afternoon, too.
First and 10 Eskimos. Ottawa 30-yard line.
Is Warman looking to the end zone? No. He hands off to Johnstone. And Johnstone has almost enough for a first down with 32 seconds to play.
It'll be second down, 1 yard to go. Another CFL action. Final score now in.
2nd and 1.
Toronto 18, Saskatchewan 24.
Numbers on Chris Johnstone, 7 for 35, a couple of touchdowns. And another first down with 9 seconds to go.
Picks up a couple of yards, gets the first down.
Well, there you see it.
There are your Rough Riders. Storming back to beat the Argonauts.
Yeah, they move 4 points ahead of the BC Lions, and still, of course, stay alive for second spot in the West. Toronto Argonauts, well, I took the Argos in 8 points, so I'm a winner on that one at least.
You win that one.
Sure.
Eskimos will add one more field goal here. If Corrick can connect from the 25 on the final play of the game. No doubt about it. Jerry Corrick on the final play of the game adds to the Eskimo total. Edmonton wins this one in a walk over the Ottawa Rough Riders. Joe Ferragelli has 13 wins on the season. Peter?
Now, ladies and gentlemen, here are today's Bolton Canadian Outstanding Player Awards, as chosen by the 1260 CFRN broadcast group. The offensive star this afternoon, game number 25, Tom Richards. The defensive star, number 44, Jeff Braswell. And the special team star,
doing that basically all year. I think we got to come out as an offense and attack instead of waiting until the second half or the second quarter and trying to score some points. But like I said, we did come out kind of sluggish, and I think that's one thing we got to improve on.
Reggie, it I'm sure has been a very pleasant year for you here, getting the ball as much as you have after starting out in BC and not really getting as much of a chance to play as I know you would have liked.
Well, like I say, Cherry's a good back, and, you know, like I said, I had no complaints, but like I said, I'm just happy to be here and happy to get an opportunity to play, so, you know, I'm just grateful for that.
All right, keep piling up the yards. Congratulations. Best of luck.
No, thank you.
Reggie Taylor, our Foster's CFL Player of the Game. More still ahead on the CFL here on TSN. Stay with us.
Now, you look like a smart kind of person. Where do you think you'd get the best price on your next TV? From a store that buys this many? Or this many? Or this many? You got it. Granada buys more color TVs than anyone else. So you get the best prices guaranteed whether you buy, lease, or rent. It's one of the advantages of dealing with #1. I knew you'd get it.
Time to go, boys. You've been in there long enough.
Hey, we're not even tired. I feel good.
No, I've checked the mileage, and it's...
Hey, we're the auto lights. We're guaranteed.
Guaranteed?
I feel good. Yeah, 2 years no matter how far we go.
But no spark plug guarantees that.
We do. Yeah, we're the auto lights.
But
So go pull the plug on somebody else.
Okay.
We wish you sunshine every day. We hope the best things come your way. And with your box of Kellogg's corn, we give the best to you each morn. This is the taste of Golden Flakes. This is the crispy crunch that makes every box of Kellogg's corn our very best to you each morn.
You're gonna like the taste of Foster's Draft. Cold, fresh out of the keg. Foster's Draft. You have to go out and get it.
Promotional consideration by Air Canada, the official airline of the CFL.
It's time for the TSN Turning Point, brought to you today by Remington. The score is 14-7 Edmonton in the second quarter when Reggie Taylor takes off on an absolutely huge run that got the Eskimo offense going. Things weren't going all that well for the Eskimos in the early going until Taylor got the football here and took off for a 43-yard gallop, and that went on to set up another touchdown. It made the score at that point 21-7, and of course the Eskimos rolled after that, winning it by a score of 55-11. Reggie Taylor, 15 carries for 144 yards, and a cash donation will be made to amateur sports on behalf of TSN and Remington, the grooming company. Well, along with a few friends here, we're having a good time down on the field. A reminder, once again, we'll be with you from Taylor Field in Regina next Sunday as the Calgary Stampeders and the Saskatchewan Roughriders get together with a lot on the line for that one. That'll be at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. For now, 55-11 Edmonton over Ottawa. That's the story from Commonwealth Stadium. Thanks for joining us. TSN has presented the Foster's CFL Game of the Week. Brought to you by Foster's Lager, proud to bring you the best in the CFL.
You're watching TSN, the sports network. Due to the length of the preceding program, we now join the scheduled program already in progress.
You know, every chance I try to do that.
for the simple standpoint that you look at all the guys, and I've been in that position. You know, when I started working on a car, and you have too, it's changed quite a bit as far as, you know, instead of working on one car, now you've got 10 cars to work on and keep organized and keep things going. But without those guys in the shop, you're not going anywhere. You're not going to ride 1 mile, much less 500.
This is a research laboratory. It tries and fails to make Castrol motor oil break down. It's the place where Castrol is torture tested to meet the requirements of those who punish motor oil the most. You, the everyday Canadian driver. Castrol XLR, the oil engineered for today's cars.
What has been the biggest dream that you've realized? A race, the championship, doing it, making a race? What was the dream, and which is the dream that you feel like you fulfill the most?
Well, it's all been steps. You know, whenever you go in, you know, it's just like a kid that's not exposed to much. You know, you don't know what you're missing out there when you're not exposed to it. You know, and for us to first go in, the first biggest step or the first biggest dream was make that first race, or just go in and make a race.
Be a part of it.
Be a part of it. Okay, then the next big deal was to finish a race. You know, I got in it, now what I do to finish it.
Yeah.
For us, just to finish races was a big deal. Then you got to finishing, then you wanted to keep working your way up that ladder. And then in '82, I can remember when we, this was after Melling came along, but we still, all year long, we finished second. We were so close, we just never got there. And then we started running all the races in '83, and then to finally win a race in '83 was quite a deal, which I beat you to win that first race.
Did you have to bring that up? Is the championship worth all the effort you go through?
Once you get up on that stage in New York and look from the other side of the coin, yes.
That had to be awesome.
It's a bigger thrill than I ever dreamed it'd be. You know, I really enjoyed it. You know, I went to New York, I had a good time. You know, I saw it from the other side of the fence, you know, from where Dale's seen it the last 2 years, from where Daryl's been, a lot of the other guys, and it's quite an experience.
And you do want to go back now, right?
I would love to go back. But it's going to be a struggle to get back. You've got so many good running race teams right now, so many people out there that's trying to win, so much money being spent, and that's the other side of the coin that's hard for me to realize sometimes is, you know, I knew what we spent when we started as far as, you know, $500 here, $500 there was a big deal.
You know, you're right. Back when you started, when I was involved in the racing business, $500 was a big amount. That was a lot of money. And today, you will incidentally at a race spend $5,000 that you really can't account. Why did I spend that $5,000?
But you got to do it to win.
You've got to do it to win. In '85, you had a year that people dream of having. Won, how many races? 11?
11 races.
11 Winston Cup races. Won a bonus of $1 million. And you didn't win the championship. Did that help this year, or?
Yeah, I think looking back of what happened in '85 was a real learning point for me. Taught me a lot, taught me how to handle a lot of situations. You know, you got to understand that, you know, I grew up around here. I wasn't exposed to the big-time racing or realize what goes on around it, how to handle different situations. You know, and you never know how a person's going to do it till he's put in it. You know, '83 was kind of a building year. You know, we started running all the races. You know, we were new to the sport. You know, we had some positive feedback there. Okay, when '84, at the end of the season, you know, we won, you know, the last almost the last 3 races in a row there. Won Charlotte, Rockingham, and Atlanta. And then you look back, well, I didn't think I won Atlanta, but anyway, that kind of was a building block for '85. Went to Daytona, had a fantastic couple of weeks down there, and then everything built from there. But to be thrown in that just all of a sudden, and then the Winston Megan bonus came up, it was hard to deal with. It was hard for me to deal with. It taught me a lot, and a lot of situations I didn't handle right, and I understood that. You know,
You understand it now?
I understand it now. I didn't then.
That's right.
I guess I approached it the only way I knew how, because I wasn't exposed to it. I didn't have anybody to sit down and say, okay, you need to do this or you need to do that. And probably still somebody told me I'd still done it the same way. But still, as I went through 85 and then had the downside as far as 86 was concerned, but we still won 2 races in 86. We won the Winston and had a lot of things kind of go wrong. And then fight back in 87 and win a championship in 88. That even meant more winning the championship this year than I'm sure it would have if I'd won it in 85.
I really, truly, Bill, I think that if you'd won the championship in 85, I'm not sure that Mellon Racing would be progressed to the point that they are today, because I think success would have been there too soon for you. And
I think you're right in a lot of ways, and I guess there's a lot of things that you look at, and things happen for a reason, and in one way, I'm glad we didn't win a championship. I don't think as a person I could have handled it, you know, because I was already thrown into so many deals then. Boy, at the end of that year, I was about to go crazy, you know. But now, as 88 progressed and we stayed in the points battle all year long, you know, I learned to handle situations a lot better, you know, and I feel like as time goes on through 89, 90, and so on and so forth, I learned how to deal with situations even better yet.
Quaker State with QSX exceeds every single car maker's Canadian requirements for maximum engine protection. So Quaker State engines don't know when to quit, because Quaker State oil doesn't know when to quit. The big Q stands for quality.
You're sure they're right for my car? Listen, General makes some of the best speed-rated radial performance tires in the business. Look, just try them.
Drive General Tires XP 2000s and take the 30-day challenge. See your participating dealer for details.
So you're getting ready for 88, and then NASCAR comes along and changes the rules. Did the restrictor plate, did it play on your mind the fact that you were not going to be, well, probably was not going to be the dominant car at Daytona and Talladega?
Well, I knew it was going to play on it very hard.
When did you learn it? Did the dyno tell you, or did the
dyno
test?
told us, and we went and tested, and we couldn't run anything, you know, not compared to what we could run. You know, you done heard numbers of what people have been running, and everybody said, well, you're sandbagging, you're laying back, you're doing this.
Well, you've always been famous for doing that, you know.
Well, to us, you know.
I don't stumble.
Hey, the thing I say is when I go out and practice a car, I'm looking for one thing.
What?
You know, as far as, okay, let's say you go into Atlanta and you're going to qualify.
Right.
Okay, I'm looking for certain things out of my car and not necessarily trying to run fast right off is the thing I'm looking for. A certain feel for the car to get through a certain corner or a certain place on the racetrack to be. And then what I do is try to work the car out, and then I apply it when I get ready to qualify.
So you basically don't, all that, what I call sandbagging, I've just been
trying to work out other things.
And you just try to put it all together when it comes time to qualify.
Right, I know what I'm looking for, and you do too. When you get in a race car, you got a pretty good idea of what you're looking for that car to do. And it's so hard to get it to work sometimes like you want it to work. And I'm just looking for a certain feel, and I just keep hunting, and I'm sorting through stuff that gives me the feel I feel like will work the best for qualifying and then for the race.
We see now, this year you won the Busch Pole Award, had more pole positions than anyone else. So obviously that works for you. And I think that now that you bring that up, I think you brought up a good point, is I think that we all, prior to qualifying, try to outrun the stopwatch too much. All we're concerned about is how fast do we run.
Right.
Not how does it feel, because the better we get the car to feel, the faster it's going to run. The better we can get the car to go through the turn, the better it's going to run. So,
you know, it don't always work like that. You know, there's times that you miss it, you know, and you're only human. You can only do so much. It's just like, you know, you go to races and you're looking for a certain thing, the racetrack change on you or some circumstance happen, and you can't get that feel back, and a lot of times the car just isn't that quick. But, you know, if I feel like I'm in the ballpark and I know what I'm looking for, then I try to work toward that. But, you know, it don't always work.
When in the year 1988 did all of a sudden you say to yourself, and you know, you're the guy that you can't lie to, at what point in the year did you realistically think, hey, I can win this championship?
I don't think I looked at as far as trying to win a championship for the last 5 or 6.
Listen to this. Oh, this is hot.
Kevin, we gotta turn this into the caretaker.
Oh, no way. Come on, are you kidding? He just keep this for himself.
The cosmic key has been activated. We have a bearing on them.
How accurate?
Within a parsec eon.
The next time they use the key, lock in the source and open a doorway.
Shall I prepare a full battalion?
No, it may be a trap. We'll send an advance group. Assemble the mercenaries. Have faith, sorcerers. You won't be lonely long.
Julie, listen to this. What do you think?
Sounds great.
Okay. I want to see what this thing can really do. Test. Hello, test. Here, hold that.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna amp this baby up, see how it sounds. All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. All right, here goes.
Can't believe it.
Override complete. We're locking in on the key source of origin.
Very good. Excellent.
You are too easily pleased, Evelyn. Have you forgotten? Time is of the essence. Show me! There. That's close enough. Have you assembled the mercenaries?
Here and awaiting your command. I have selected your finest warriors. Blade. Sarad. The Beastman. And Karg.
A curious quartet. He-Man has slipped away from me. I want him back. This must happen before moonrise. Now, you are to go through to this world where they are hiding. Find the key. Do as you wish with the others, but bring He-Man back alive. You do understand?
Yes.
Good. Open the door. Do not fail me.
I can't believe this thing. I mean, did you see those lights, huh? Look, we've got to take this down to Charlie. He's got to know what this is.
No, you go ahead. This sounds really strange, but I kind of want to spend some time here alone. Let's say goodbye to the place. I'm not going to be here for graduation.
Look, Julie, I'll just go by Charlie's later, okay?
No, go ahead, I promise.
Are you sure?
Hmm?
Okay. All right, I'll be gone 15 minutes tops. Okay. All right? Don't let anybody in here except Carl.
All right.
Hear me?
Mm-hmm. Bye. I'll guard this stuff for you.
All right. Bye.